I have 9 stunningly beautiful wives, who should I favor? Yifan is not satisfied with his lovely wife, and he goes to the club every day to meet young models. The key is that his wife actually gives Yifan money to pick up girls. Are you going to pick up that girl with black stockings and long legs this time? Is 100,000 enough? Chapter 1, Wife, give me some money, I'm going to pick up girls. In the conference room of the Su Group in Yun City, the CEO Su Ishue was holding a meeting with shareholders when suddenly, the door was pushed open by her husband, Yifan. With a loud voice, he blurted out, Wife, give me some money, I'm going to pick up girls. The entire room went silent, everyone stunned by his words. Is this the idiot husband of Su Zong who has been married for 3 years? Isn't it? He has been married for 3 years, does nothing but smoke, drink, and pick up girls. I really don't know how Su Zong tolerates him. The key is, Su Zong is about to spoil Yifan to the skies. Oh. Is he the one with the long legs, a pretty nice figure, that girl from last time? Su Ishue put down the document in her hand, picked up her phone, and smiled gently at Yifan. How much do you need? Is 100,000 enough? If not, I'll have finance transfer more. That's enough. Thanks, wife, love you. Yifan, upon receiving the transfer, blew a kiss to Su Ishue and turned to leave. Wait. Su Ishue called out, getting up and handing her car keys to Yifan. Take my Ferrari out. My husband is going to pick up girls, I can't let you lose face. Su Ishue's actions completely shocked the shareholders present. This was a sight they'd never seen before. When had they ever seen a wife so supportive of her husband going out to pick up girls? And even giving him money for it. But Su Ishue didn't care at all about the looks from the shareholders. She walked up, gently adjusted Yifan's collar, and with a tender expression said, Hubby, come back early tonight. It's our 3rd wedding anniversary, we should celebrate, okay? Gentle. Sweet. Almost humble. These were the words flooding everyone's mind. Was this still the Su Zong they knew? Usually, Su Zong was strict, decisive, and distant, impossible to approach. But now, she was treating a useless live-in husband with such humility. Why? Let us see how things go. If I'm done, I'll come back. Yifan waved his hand and left the meeting room. Su Ishue stood there in a daze for a while, sighing inwardly. These years must have been tough for him. Secretary Tang Qian couldn't hold back any longer. Su Zong, you can't keep spoiling Yifan like this. He has asked you for money 7 or 8 times this month. Shut up. Su Ishue immediately cut her off, her eyes cold. He is my husband, I'll spoil him however I want. What is it to you? Su Ishue's eyes flashed with a cold glint. I'm announcing this now, Tang Qian, you're fired. Go to finance and settle your wages, then get lost. Su Zong, Tang Qian was stunned. The hundreds of shareholders in the room were equally dumbfounded. Tang Qian was fired just for complaining about Yifan? Su Zong, Secretary Tang is a senior executive in the company. Firing her just like this doesn't seem appropriate. Su Mingho, the vice president and Su Ishue's second uncle, spoke up, questioning her decision. Su Ishue glanced at him coldly. What? Do you want to join her too? That one sentence instantly made Su Mingho shut up. Does anyone else have any objections? Su Ishue swept her gaze across the room. Everyone lowered their heads, not daring to say a word. Let us continue the meeting. Discuss how to handle the 300 million deficit in the Su family's funds. I'm listening. Su Ishue returned to her seat. While the others were debating, her mind was already elsewhere, fixated on Yifan. 3 years of marriage. That damn guy hasn't even touched her once. The most intimate thing they've done is hug. Every time she gets into bed after cleaning herself up, Yifan always says he is only interested in money. But does he really only care about money? Then why is he always hanging around nightclubs? Is it because she doesn't dress sexy enough, or is she not open enough? But her husband, the one she married, doesn't even make a move on her? Is she really that unattractive? Tonight, she was going to take the initiative. Su Ishue even bought some of those embarrassing outfits that men like. No matter what, she had to win him over tonight. Yifan left the company, driving Su Ishue's Ferrari straight to the top club in Yun City, Tianshang Renjian. At the entrance of the club, a fat man wearing suspenders had been waiting for him. Yi Xiao, it's been a few days. You look even taller, stronger, and more radiant. The sun pales in comparison. His fawning expression was practically screaming bootlicker. This fat man was Wang Fuguei, the young master of Yun City's Wang family. He often hung around with Yifan in various nightclubs. Over time, he was charmed by Yifan's charisma and swore to be his loyal lackey. Alright, next time, change up your lines. Yifan interrupted Wang Fuguei and walked toward the door. Don't worry, Yi Xiao, I've arranged everything. Every woman in the club is here, even the cleaning aunt. If you're not interested in women, I can arrange some muscle men for you. Get lost. Seeing Wang Fuguei's sleazy face, Yifan kicked him in the rear. Inside the club's grandest emperor suite, a row of scantily dressed women respectfully greeted Yifan. Yi Xiao, welcome. The sight of their ample chests and slits up to their waists in their kionsams made Yifan feel a bit hot. Damn it. If it weren't for his training, and the need to complete their dragon control decision before he could touch a woman, he would have rescued these young girls by now. Nice. All of you are rewarded. Old Wang, pass them 2,000 each. Yifan threw a wad of cash at Wang Fuguei. And make sure to send them the photos. Whoever notices the girls in the photos gets a big reward. Got it. As Wang Fuguei handed out the money, Yifan opened his phone and stared at a picture of a beautiful girl, lost in thought. It had been 3 years, Yifan had come to pick up girls, but in reality, he wasn't here for the girls at all. He was here to find someone. He was looking for his missing little disciple from 3 years ago. Someone had said they saw her in a Yun City club, so Yifan was visiting club after club. Next batch. After seeing all the women in the club, Yifan didn't linger. He left the club, bought a bunch of medicinal herbs at the local pharmacy, and headed to the western outskirts of Yun City. At a quiet villa in the western outskirts of Yun City, a young girl stood at the door, smiling when she saw Yifan. Fan Ji, you're here. I thought you wouldn't come. The girl was wearing a white spaghetti strap top, her ample chest straining against the fabric. Below, she wore khaki shorts, showcasing her long, smooth legs. When Yifan got out of the car, the girl ran up to him, jumped, and wrapped her arms around his neck, her whole body almost hanging from him. Her chest pressed against Yifan's, making him feel like he was sailing through stormy seas. This little girl looked cute, but she was well endowed, for sure. All right. Let us go check on your father. Yifan gently pried her off and walked toward the house. The girl was Li Yao, the daughter of the Li family, one of Yun City's for big families. Yifan had come to help her father, Li Feng, who had collapsed a few days ago. Doctors couldn't find the cause, but when Yifan used his 13 needles of Ghost Valley technique, Li Feng woke up instantly. Yifan was here today to finish up the treatment, just prescribing some medicine to stabilize his condition. Dr. Yi, you're here, please come in. In the villa's living room, Li Feng was already standing, greeting Yifan enthusiastically. Yifan checked his pulse and said, Mr. Li's health is fine now. I'm just here to give him some tonic herbs. After boiling them and drinking, he'll be perfectly fine. As he spoke, Yifan handed the herbs to Li Feng. Li Feng's son, Li Dao, quickly took them, saying, Thank you, Dr. Yi. Thank you. After a brief conversation and confirming Li Feng was fine, Yifan was about to leave. He was in the middle of a critical breakthrough with his dragon control decision and didn't want to waste any more time. Otherwise, his wives could only watch, but not enjoy. It was driving him crazy. Yifan had been telling Su Ishua he didn't like women, but that was obviously a lie. Yifan's master had told him that after his injury 3 years ago, he had lost all his martial arts abilities. To recover, he had to master their dragon control decision to its 9th level. But now Yifan was stuck at the peak of the 8th level, just one step away from a breakthrough. If he touched a woman before he made that final breakthrough, his martial arts would be destroyed, and he'd be killed by a backlash. So no matter how many women stripped in front of him, Yifan couldn't risk it. Li Feng motioned to Li Dao, who quickly got up and handed a bank card to Yifan. Dr. Yi, you've saved my father's life. This is a small token of our appreciation. Please accept it. Yifan smiled lightly and pushed the card back. I'm not interested in money. The words left Li Feng and Li Dao stunned for a moment. They both turned to look at Li Yao. Li Yao blushed deeply, clearly embarrassed, and after some hesitation, she said, Fan Ji, as long as you like it, I'm willing. Let us go. Saying that, Li Yao took Yifan's hand, leading him outside. Yifan was completely confused. Go? Where? Li Yao stamped her foot, pouting, "Oh, you bad guy. To a hotel, or if you prefer, we can go to my place." Chapter 2, I Want to Be Your True Woman. Upon hearing Li Yao's words, Yifan couldn't help but feel speechless. Turning to look at Li Feng and Li Dao's expressions, he immediately understood. They had misunderstood him. They thought that when he said he wasn't interested in money, it meant he was interested in women. Were they planning on offering Li Yao to him? Nonsense. Yifan, I'm not that kind of person. If you want to offer something, at least wait until my martial arts breakthrough before you make any decisions. Cough, cough. Mr. Li, I think you've misunderstood me. Yifan cleared his throat and continued, what I meant is that, as a doctor, I have a heart of compassion. Helping Li family's head is just a simple thing for me. I was just hoping to make a friend of the Li family, that's all. We have a long future ahead of us, right? Yifan emphasized the words, long future, and intentionally glanced at Li Yao as he spoke. Seeing Yifan leave, a strong sense of disappointment appeared on Li Yao's face. HMPH. Sigh. What's wrong with me? Am I not good enough? I have the chest, the looks, everything that other women have, I can do, and what they can't do, I can do too. As she spoke, Li Yao glanced at Yifan's abdomen, then moved her lips slightly. I should be capable, right? After Yifan was sent off, Li Feng quickly turned to Li Dao. Go check if there is any possibility for cooperation with the Su family. If we can't get through Yi Shao, then let us go through the Su family. Yi godly doctor is a golden leg, we must hold on tight to him. Li Dao nodded. No need to check. I already received a call from second Uncle Su. He mentioned that the Su group has a 300 million gap in funding, and he invited me to a family banquet tomorrow. Most likely because of this. Second Uncle Su. Is that the Su Mingho guy? I've heard he has not much of a deal. Li Feng frowned. But since it's Yi Shao's wife's family, I think you should go and see what's going on tomorrow. I was thinking the same. I wasn't planning on talking to Su Mingho. If we're going to talk, it's going to be with President Su Ishua directly. Li Dao glanced at his younger sister, who had entered her room, and sighed deeply. But my sister. Sigh. Li Feng also looked helpless. It's a pity that Yi godly doctor is already married. I just hope Xiao Yao doesn't fall too deep. Yifan returned home and spent time training the dragon control decision for 9 cycles. It was already 5 p.m. Su Ishua's call came right on time. Honey, are you done with work? Where are you? I'm at home. Come pick me up. Yifan remembered that Su Ishua had mentioned that today was their 3rd wedding anniversary, and she wanted to celebrate it. Okay. After Su Ishua picked him up, she drove him straight to the Royal Hotel on the 8th floor. In a private room, a candlelit dinner had already been prepared in advance. While they were eating, Su Ishua was particularly lively, pouring wine for Yifan one glass after another. Yifan wasn't bothered by her constant refills. As he admired his wife's beautiful profile, he played along and pretended to be a bit tipsy. Honey, didn't you say you had a gift for me? Where is it? Yifan's words were slurred as he tried to act drunk. Su Ishua noticed the time and gently helped him toward a nearby suite. The gift is in the next room. We'll find out when we go there. She helped Yifan into the adjacent presidential suite, had him sit on the sofa, and then disappeared into the dressing room. Wait a moment, I'll be right out. From the dressing room, the sound of rustling came. When Su Ishua finally walked out, Yifan's blood immediately surged, and his breath stopped for a moment. Holy crap! Was this really his wife? Su Ishua had completely removed her clothes and was now wearing a pink nurse uniform made of light fabric that barely covered her perfect figure. Her body was curvy, her lines mesmerizing. She wore black stockings, which only added to Yifan's excitement. I'm your gift today, honey. Do you like it? Su Ishua spoke shyly, walking a few steps forward in a seductive pose. She then leaned into Yifan's embrace, gazing at him lovingly. Honey, it's been 3 years, and today, I want to truly be your woman. With such a stunning beauty lying in your arms, posing like she was ready to be enjoyed. Which man could resist? And this was still your legitimate wife. Honey, you're playing with fire. Yifan's breathing grew heavier, and he grabbed Suishua's wandering hand. Suishua's eyes were half-lidded as she spoke in a soft voice, "Come on. Let me feel how hot your fire really is." Those words lit the fire inside Yifan. Without a second thought, he rolled over and pressed Suishua beneath him, his hands roaming over her body, taking what he wanted. The outfit she had just put on was torn to pieces in an instant. The room was filled with flying clothes, a mess everywhere. The temperature in the room shot up rapidly. Just as the two were about to become completely entangled. Whoosh! 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 Suddenly, a series of whistling sounds filled the air. A flying knife shot toward Yifan's abdomen, narrowly grazing him before embedding itself into the wall. If the knife had been just 2 centimeters lower, Yifan might have been castrated on the spot. "You must not fail, young master. You still carry a great responsibility. Be careful." A shadow flashed outside the window, and a cold voice echoed from the darkness. Yifan looked down at Suishua beneath him, who had been struck by 2 yellow beans that hit her sleep acupoints, causing her to fall unconscious. "Hanjua, are you trying to get me killed? You almost castrated me, and now you're interrupting me at this moment." Haven T, you heard the saying, "Die under the peony, even as a ghost you are graceful." Yifan yelled angrily at the window. But after a while of cursing, there was no response. 3 years ago, after Yifan lost his martial arts abilities, his master had sent the sect's top assassin, Hanjua, to secretly protect him. Hanjua was ruthless and spoke little, but when it came time to act, he didn't hesitate. Having been interrupted by Hanjua, Yifan regained his composure. He realized the consequences of breaking his vow and broke out in a cold sweat. 23 years ago, when Yifan was just a year old, he was sent to learn martial arts at the sect. 3 years ago, when Yifan was about to return to his family, the sect was attacked. 2 of his master's wives died, his master was severely injured, his second uncle was cut into 8 pieces, and 3 of his younger sisters went missing. Yifan was also severely injured by a mysterious master, losing all his martial arts skills and becoming a cripple. He and his master were forced to flee the sect's headquarters. In order to disperse their target, his master arranged for Yifan to marry into the Su family. At the same time, Yifan's family, the Yi family in Yun City, was also attacked. His grandfather was injured while fighting the enemy, his parents went missing, and several uncles died. The Yi family's strength was greatly diminished, and their position as the #1 family in Daxia was at risk. Yifan knew about the situation and wanted to return home immediately, but his master stopped him. The attack on the sect and the Yi family was no coincidence. His master, Ji Yufeng, smelled the conspiracy. "Someone doesn't want you to return. So, until you fully recover your martial arts, you must never step foot into the Yi family." Since then, almost all the resources and medicinal pills were given to Yifan. Yifan was the hope of the sect's revival, and the key to the Yi family's resurgence. If he broke his vow now and died, it wouldn't matter. But if he failed the sect's hopes, that would be a grave sin. Yifan was raised by his master's wife. How could he rest easy without avenging her? His little sister had been living with him, and they had a deep bond. How could he die before finding her? How could he have the right to die? And those bastards who almost destroyed the Yi family, how could Yifan ever forgive them? He had hidden in the Su family for 3 years, and fortunately, nothing unexpected happened during this time. Thinking of this, Yifan sighed deeply, bent down, and gently placed Suishua on the bed. He pulled up the blanket and covered her softly. "Honey, don't worry. It'll only take 3 days, just 3 days. After I break through to the 9th level of the Dragon Control Decision, I'll make you my true wife." Looking at the wife who had always pampered him, Yifan's eyes were filled with tenderness. He couldn't help but lower his head and plant a kiss on Suishua's neck, leaving. Chapter 3, You Are Just Infatuated with My Beauty. After settling his wife, Suishua, Li Fan sat down in the room and began to seriously cultivate the dragon sovereign art. In an instant, a beam of light enveloped Li Fan, and a surging force began running through his meridians. A faint dragon shape started to form within his body. With his eyes closed, Li Fan could clearly feel that the huge energy deep in his dantian, which had been dormant for a long time, was now stirring. Am I finally going to break through? Li Fan could clearly touch the threshold of the 9th level of the Dragon Sovereign Art, but he was still just a step away. Li Fan practiced late into the night, running through more than 10 cycles of the technique. However, he still couldn't break through that final barrier and was left with no choice but to go to bed, holding his beautiful wife and falling into a deep sleep. The next day, when Suishua woke up, she felt sore all over, as though her body was falling apart. Lying next to Li Fan in his arms, she suddenly became embarrassed. Did he really go that hard last night? Can I handle it in the future? If it's too much, should I ask my friend Qing Ruolan to help? After thinking of this wicked idea, Suishua was startled by herself. Oh! Suishua, you're spoiling your husband, but how could you have such a wicked thought? She stretched her body a little, but quickly realized something was off. This naughty man, did he not touch me? Even though she didn't have much experience, she still knew that although she was lying next to Li Fan naked, he had only left a mark on her neck and hadn't actually done anything else. Hubby, wake up. Why didn't you do anything with me last night? I'm your wife. What else do you want me to do? Suishua shook Li Fan awake, and as she spoke, her eyes were already red. Suishua, as the most beautiful woman in Yun City, was usually cold and distant, appearing elegant and unattainable. But for Li Fan, she had already humbled herself, even buying so many outfits and putting herself in such an alluring position in front of him. This was the limit of what she could do. She was on the verge of breaking down. Oh! That, Li Fan turned over, reaching out to tidy up Suishua's messy hair. I'm just not convenient these days. Not convenient. Do men also get their periods now? Suishua angrily punched Li Fan's chest, annoyed. This guy, finding such lame excuses. No. I've been reading my fortune, and there's a bad omen these days. My fate is in conflict, so it's not suitable to. Next time, I'll wait for a good time, and I definitely won't let you go. Suishua couldn't help but laugh at Li Fan's ridiculous reason. Seriously? You need the right time, place, and people just to do that. She smiled, but then she saw the kiss mark on her neck in the mirror, and a happiness filled her heart. Even though they hadn't fully gone through with it, this was the first time they'd been this intimate in 3 years. It was already pretty good. Things should take time. Li Fan was her husband, he'd be hers forever. He wasn't going anywhere. All right, I understand. Let us get up. Grandpa arranged a family dinner today. Grandma has been waiting to see you for a while. Suishua shyly got up to dress, reminding Li Fan. Although Li Fan had entered the Su family by marriage, he was not like most sons-in-law. Everyone in the Su family, except for Su Mingho's family, treated him like a treasure. To say he was the family's favorite would not be an exaggeration. Okay. Xiao Fan, you're here. Sit next to Grandma. How have you been these days? You've lost some weight. Ishua didn't take care of you well, did she? When Li Fan and Suishua entered the Su family hall, Grandma Songmai immediately greeted Li Fan, inviting him to sit next to her. Suishua was a bit jealous. Grandma. Why are you so close with Li Fan? I'm your real granddaughter. Songmai laughed heartily, noticing Suishua's flushed face and the glint in her eyes. Ishua, you too. As a wise woman, Songmai immediately recognized the difference in Suishua's demeanor. Suishua blushed. Grandma. We celebrated our 3rd anniversary last night, had some drinks, and stayed at the hotel. Good. Good. Har har, Xiao Fan, you need to put in some effort, we're all waiting for great-grandchildren. Grandpa Suguowa chuckled, stroking his beard while teasing Li Fan. Li Fan glanced at Suishua and smiled. Don't worry. I'll work hard and try to give Ishua a whole football team. Li Fan really enjoyed the warm, harmonious atmosphere of the Su family. Although this wasn't his martial arts clan, living here for 3 years had made him feel the same warmth as his own family. But I'm not a sow, how can I have so many children? Suishua pouted, but there was happiness in her eyes. Grandpa and Grandma barely said anything before, but upon seeing Li Fan and Suishua, their faces broke into smiles. Sitting at the lower table, Su Mingho and his son Su Dong's expressions grew darker and darker. HMPH. An adopted son-in-law, what is he acting so proud for? He's just a good-for-nothing, living off others. What did you say? Su Dong's voice was small, but Grandpa Su Guowa faintly heard it. His face immediately darkened. Su Dong. If you don't speak, no one will think you're mute. If you mutter again, get out. Su Dong's face turned red with embarrassment, but more than that, there was resentment. Before Li Fan entered the Su family, Su Dong had been the apple of Grandpa and Grandma's eyes. But ever since Li Fan came, Su Dong felt like an outsider. Why should this be? Su Dong tried to argue, but his father, Su Mingho, stopped him. Master Li from the Li family is here to visit. Just then, a loud voice sounded at the door, and Li Dao, the eldest son of the Li family, appeared in the hall carrying several large gift bags. This is our family dinner, what is he doing here? Grandpa Su Guo frowned and looked around at the people in the room. Su Mingho quickly stood up and said, Dad, I invited him. Isn't our Su family in financial trouble? Master Li is interested in investing, so I thought I'd talk to him. Whether it works out or not, it's better than some useless good-for-nothings living off others. Su Mingho quickly stepped forward and extended his hand to Li Dao, eager to shake hands. Master Li, please come in. With the eldest son of one of Yun City's for great families visiting, Su Mingho felt like he'd done something monumental and stood up straighter, as though he was a great man. Slap. Before Li Dao could take a step, a teacup was thrown at him, crashing in front of him. Master Li, this is our family dinner, please leave. Chapter 4 I'm here for Master Yi's wife. The one who spoke was the old man of the Su family, Su Guo. Originally, the old man had no opinion about Li Dao. Just because Su Mingho scolded Yi Fan, the old man instantly got furious. Li Dao paused and sneered at Su Mingho. He didn't even bother to take a second look at the hand Su Mingho extended. Who are you? Do I know you? Su Mingho's hands froze in the air, and he was completely stunned. Mr. Li, didn't I call you yesterday? At the shareholders' meeting yesterday, when the company's funding gap was being discussed, Su Mingho stood up and said that he had a solution. He then contacted Li Xiao immediately and wanted to ask Li Xiao for investment. Li Dao had always refused before, but yesterday he agreed for the first time ever to come and take a look. But today, Li Shaoran did come, but he said he didn't know me at all. Who I am? What exactly happened? Su Mingho felt like his head was full of question marks. When Li Dao turned around and looked at Su Guo and the others, his face was full of smiles again. Grandpa, you misunderstood. I came here today to see Master Yi's wife. No, I came to see Master Yi. I owe Master Yi a huge favor. While speaking, Li Dao walked quickly towards Yi Fan, stretched out his hands and shook hands with Yi Fan. Mr. Yi, we meet again. Li Dao also blinked at Yi Fan. Yi Fan naturally understood that Li Dao wanted to do him a favor. Li Dao's action stunned everyone present. Su Mingho, Su Dong, including his third uncle, grandfather, grandmother and others were all stunned. Yi Fan is so familiar with Li Xiao from the four great families. Did Li Xiao come here for Yi Fan? There was a gleam of light in Grandpa's eyes. Thinking of the power of Yi Fan's master behind him, he immediately understood that it should not be strange that Yi Fan and Li Xiao knew each other. Over the years, the Su family has been able to develop so rapidly, thanks to the secret support of Yi Fan's master. Old Master Su has always believed that the best thing he has done in his life is to marry Yi Shui to Yi Fan as his wife. So Master Li is Xiao Fan's friend. Please take a seat quickly. I didn't mean to do that just now. I just wanted to hit that evil boy. Please don't be offended, Master Li. Grandpa Su Guo's face changed faster than turning the pages of a book. Su Mingho's face below was ashen, greener than the leaves of a green basket. Is there such a distinction in treatment? Your own friends are about to be thrown out, and Yi Fan's friends are taking the seats. Su Mingho really wanted to leave immediately, but he wanted to see what Yi Fan was doing even more. It's okay, it's okay. After Li Dao handed the gift to the old man, he sat down next to Yi Fan. Mr. Su, I heard that the Su group needs a sum of development funds recently. Our Li family really wants to cooperate with the Su group. I wonder how much money the Su group needs now. Do you really want to cooperate with Su group? Bullshit. Su Mingho couldn't help but roll his eyes. The Su group was on the verge of running out of funds recently, and had sought help from almost all the banks and major institutions. After everyone evaluated the situation of the Su group, no one wanted to cooperate with the Su group. Some people even blocked Su Yishua's phone number directly. The Li family is not stupid. How could they really want to cooperate with the Su group? The only explanation is that the Li family wants to save the Su group for Yi Fan's sake. What methods does Yifan have to make the Li family surrender? When Li Dao asked the old man, he was also looking at Yifan. With Su Yishua looking shocked, Yifan turned to her and asked, "Wife, how much is our funding gap now? Is 300 million enough?" Li Dao added, "As long as Miss Su needs it, young Master Yi can ask for 3 billion, not to mention 300 million. Before coming, Li Feng repeatedly told Li Dao to hold onto Yifan, this golden thigh, at all costs. Li Feng was very clear about his own condition. Even the experts in the international hospital were helpless and ordinary doctors could not cure him at all. But Yifan was able to bring Li Feng back to life with silver needles. Yifan must be from that mysterious place. By being friends with Yifan, the Li family will definitely be able to take another huge step forward. Moreover, those hidden rivals of the Li family will at least have to think twice before they want to move against the Li family in the future. R. Su Yishua looked at Yifan in surprise. It's not that Su Yishua had not approached the Li family to seek cooperation before, but due to the size of the Su family, it was impossible to make an appointment with core executives like Li Dao. But now young Master Li took the initiative to come to the door and ask for investment. This Yifan is truly a treasure husband. It doesn't take that much. 300 million is enough, Su Yishua said uncertainly. Okay. I'll arrange the financial transfer right away. As for the contract, we'll complete it tomorrow. Li Dao took out his cell phone and gave the order. 2 or 3 minutes later, Su Yishua received a call from the company's financial director, Boss Su. We suddenly received a 300 million yuan payment from the Li Group, saying that they have agreed to invest in you. Is it an investment in our Su Group? It arrived so quickly. Su Yishua was even more surprised. There was no need to sign a contract, just transfer the money directly. It's abnormal, very abnormal. Yes. No one can touch this money without my order. Su Yishua hung up the phone and bowed to Li Dao. Mr. Li, thank you for your timely help. Li Dao waved his hand and said, Miss Su, you are too polite. Compared with young Master Yi's help to my Li family, these are nothing. After chatting for a while, Li Dao stood up and said goodbye tactfully. Everyone, I still have things to do in the company, so I won't disturb you, and I'll take my leave first. After Li Dao left, their whole hall was in an uproar. Well done, Yifan. I knew that my grandson-in-law is very capable. Old man Su Guowo looked at Yifan with a smile. No one knows Yifan's identity, but Su Guowo probably knows it. He also knows that although Yifan is hiding his edge now, sooner or later, Yifan will take off. Our Yishua is so lucky to marry Xiaofan. Among these core members of the Su family, some were grateful to Yifan, while others were shocked by Li Dao's courage. Su Mingho and Su Dong were left out in the cold, with a gloomy look in their eyes. This Yifan is so abominable. We must find a way to drive him out of the Su family, otherwise my father and I will never have a chance to succeed in the Su family. Dad. Do you still remember Yun Fei Yang from the provincial capital? He is Su Yishuo's college classmate. He came to see Su Yishuo last time. Why don't we ask him to help? Su Dong's eyes turned, and he suddenly thought of an idea. That's it. After the family dinner, a girl that Yifan had hooked up with before suddenly called Yifan and said, Mr. Yi, I changed jobs recently. I think I saw the person you asked me to pay attention to in my new company. How about you come over and take a look? Kindness? Any news about Junior sister? Yifan's expression froze. He packed up his things, drove Su Yishua's Ferrari, and headed straight to Yuncheng Royal Club No. 1. In the past 3 years, Yifan has conducted almost a carpet search, visiting all the places in Yuncheng. Royal No. 1 is one of the last few left. Xiaofang, you've grown some flesh here. Yifan unscrupulously stretched out his hand and grabbed a receptionist's thigh, causing the beautiful lady to grumble, Oh, Master Yi, you're so bad. You always take advantage of others, but you don't take care of their business. Yifan smiled slightly, took out a few red bills from his pocket and stuffed them into the V-neck of the beautiful woman, who said I didn't take care of her. You said you saw the girl in the photo, where is she now? Xiaofang quickly responded, Last month, a girl named Xu Yang came here. She looks very similar to the one in the photo, but I'm not sure if she's the one you're looking for. I have some photos I secretly took here. Do you want to see them? While speaking, Xiaofang found a secretly taken photo on her mobile phone. Yifan just took a look and suddenly froze. Junior sister? The news is true. Junior sister really arrived in Yuncheng and appeared in such a place? Chapter 5, Junior's sister is stranded in the club. Although Yifan likes to go to the club to save those girls, he doesn't want his junior sister to appear here. Once upon a time, how pure and innocent was the little sister. How innocent. In such a place. Yifan's face turned green just thinking about it. Tell your boss that I want her to accompany me today. Yifan once again stuffed a few red bills into Xiaofang's hands. Xiaofang was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth. Don't worry, Master Yi, I'll let the boss arrange it for you. When taking Yifan upstairs, Xiaofang asked curiously, Master Yi, is the beauty in the photo your old lover? Why is Master Yi so obsessed with her that he mobilized so many sisters to look for her? Yifan's face turned cold. Woman, it's not good to know too many secrets. Yifan went upstairs and sat down in the private room. He couldn't help feeling a little nervous. In Yifan's heart, Yifan hoped that it was his junior sister who appeared here, but on the other hand, Yifan did not want it to be his junior sister who appeared here. Boss, a guest specifically asked for Chu Yang to accompany him. On the third floor of Royal Number 1, in the boss office, the supervisor was reporting to a middle-aged woman wearing glasses. Oh. The middle-aged woman behind the desk looked up at the supervisor and said, Didn't I tell you that Miss Chu Yang has other plans here and won't be accompanying guests? Did you ignore my words? The supervisor said bitterly, Boss. I gave the order, but I didn't know that the guest today specifically requested Miss Chu Yang to accompany him. Besides, this Mr. Yi is a big money sponsor in Yuncheng and has a great reputation in the Yuncheng circle. It's not easy to offend him. The middle-aged woman was still hesitating. A door opened on the side of the office and a girl in a white dress walked out. Sister Yun, it's okay. I'll take a look. It's okay if the customer behaves well. If not, you know what I'll do. The girl in the white dress is Chu Yang, the young sister who has recently come to Royal Club Number 1. Sister Yun frowned, and finally said helplessly, Okay. Then you should be careful. If you need anything, call us at any time. I will arrange 2 bodyguards to be at the door. Watching the supervisor taking Chu Yang out of the office, Chu Yun's eyes flashed with a complicated look. I don't know how long we can hold on. In the imperial private room on the second floor, Yifan had just picked up the teacup when the door creaked open. Hello, handsome guy. I'm number 001 Chu Yang. The girl in white dress pushed the door open and appeared in front of Yifan with an unrealistically pure look. Yifan felt like he was struck by lightning. Bang! The teacup in Yifan's hand fell to the ground and broke into several pieces. Su-chan? Junior sister, it's really you. I've been looking for you for 3 years, junior sister. Yifan usually has a playful look on his face, but at this moment he looks distressed and his eyes are red. It's rare for him to be serious. The person who entered the door was naturally Chu Yang. When she heard Yifan's call, Chu Yang's body froze instantly. If you look closely, the girl's body is trembling slightly. But it only took a few seconds for the girl to adjust her mood in an instant. A look of confusion flashed in her eyes and she said, What do you mean by junior sister, handsome guy? You recognized the wrong person, didn't you? Kindness? Yifan, who had already walked to Chu Yang's side, suddenly froze. Mistaken person? How could it be? Yifan looked Chu Yang up and down. Junior sister, we have lived together for 10 years, how could I have mistaken you? Oh, there is a red mole on your lower abdomen. If you don't believe me, lift up your clothes and show me. While speaking, Yifan wanted to lift up Chu Yang's clothes. But Chu Yang immediately took a few steps back, covering her clothes in a panic. Handsome guy, please respect yourself. We are just drinking and playing games here, please don't touch me. And? Handsome guy, you've got the wrong person. My name is Chu Yang, not Su-chan. Chu Yang frowned and explained, with an evasive look in her eyes. Chu Yang? Xiao-chan, you are obviously Su-chan. That year, when we were collecting herbs in the mountains, we fell off a cliff. It was you who carried me back. My feet were so worn out that I could see the bones. It took me several months to recover. Have you forgotten? Also, when I was sick that year, you sneaked into my room in the middle of the night and used your body to warm my bed. Yifan looked at the girl in front of him with a puzzled look on his face. He couldn't understand why the girl didn't recognize him when she was clearly his junior sister. Junior sister, is someone threatening you? If so, you can be in Yuncheng in a blink of an eye. With me here, no one can bully you. Yifan stepped forward, grabbed Chu Yang's arm and explained to her. But Chu Yang just shook her head and struggled out of Yifan's hands. Handsome, you got the wrong person. I'm not feeling well, call someone else to accompany you. When Chu Yang pushed Yifan's wrist away, her fingers accidentally tapped twice on the back of Yifan's hand, and then she ran out the door. Only after running to a lounge at the end of the corridor and locking the door, Chu Yang could no longer hold back and tears streamed down her cheeks. Brother Fan is so happy to see you. They all said you were dead, but I didn't expect you were still alive. Chu Yang squatted in the corner, crying, but now there are spies everywhere around us, how can I recognize you? That year, when the sect was attacked, Suchan did not die, nor was she really missing. Instead, when the killer was about to take action, another group of people stopped the killer and took Suchan away. The leader of the killers seemed to be familiar with the person behind Suchan, so Suchan was safe and sound and just left Yifan. Suchan originally planned to accept her fate and live in a muddle-headed way, but she didn't expect to meet her senior brother Yifan again in Yuncheng. Yifan was in the private room, and suddenly lost interest. He frowned and wondered what problem his junior sister had encountered. Just now, when junior sister left, she tapped the back of her hand twice. What did that mean? Looking at a room card dropped on the ground, General Manager's office. Yifan's mind worked rapidly, and he figured out the reason in the blink of an eye. He smiled instantly, is that so? See you in the General Manager's office at 2 o'clock in the evening. Snort. It would be best if there was a bed in the office. After 3 years of separation, my junior sister must be missing my scent. I should make up for the steps I didn't have time to do before tonight, so that my junior sister can't leave me anymore. Yifan left the club, looked back at the club, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although he didn't recognize the little junior sister, at least he knew that the little junior sister was here, and no matter what problems he encountered later, he could find a way to solve them. In the boss's office at Royal Club No. 1, Shiyun was sitting in the boss's seat before, but now, the person sitting in the boss's seat is Chu Yang, who just met Yifan in the private room. In the office, besides Shiyun, there was also a large group of club executives standing there. Give orders, the news that Yifan came to see us today must not be leaked at all. If anyone leaks the news, I will not forgive her. Chu Yang scolded everyone, her voice was cold and even murderous, completely different from her previous weak image. Yes. So, the real boss of Royal No. 1 is not Chu Yun, but Chu Yan? After everyone left, Chu Yun closed the door and said to Chu Yan with complicated eyes, Xiao Chan, that was the senior brother you kept talking about, right? Did he finally find you? Why didn't you recognize him? Chapter 6 This is my first kiss. Suchan shook her head and said, Sister Yun, you know my current situation very well. I can't even protect myself. It's really unwise to provoke Yifan at this time. Moreover, once the news that Yifan is still alive leaks out, they will definitely hunt him down at all costs, which will harm brother. Shuyun sighed and said, Xiao Chan, I heard that young Master Yi has been giving out money to various clubs in Yuncheng for several years, just to find you. This shows that he is sincere to you. Can you really bear to see him like this? Can you bear it? Suchan looked dazed for a moment. After 3 years of separation, wasn't Yifan's shadow in Suchan's mind every night? How could Suchan not miss Yifan, a childhood sweetheart who grew up together and was also his life and death support on the battlefield? But what's the point of just thinking about him? The people of the Su family in Shanjing rescued me from the attack that year, but after my grandfather became seriously ill, I was once again abandoned and was forced to the point of life and death by my eldest and second brothers. If they knew Yifan's identity, they would definitely tell this news to those who took action back then. How could they let their senior brother go? I must not drag my brother down. Sister Yun, the martial arts masters sent by my eldest brother will come to Yuncheng tomorrow. If we don't hand over the last bit of our property, they will definitely not show mercy. Suchan gritted her teeth and made a difficult decision. By the way, I have to go to the provincial capital tonight. There are some important things in the safe in my room. You can stay in my room tonight. As the real boss of Royal Club No. 1, Suchan has her own independent room here. Good. Yifan had just gotten into the car when Su Ishua called him, hubby. Thank you so much, with the investment you got from the Li family, our Su group can finally survive. You are my wife, why did we say thank you before? If we want to thank you, can't we just learn more postures later? Yifan was very satisfied with his beautiful wife. Yifan has been married into the Su family for 3 years. His wife Su Ishua was a little distant from him at the beginning, but as they got along better, Su Ishua really doted on him, otherwise she would not have been willing to give Yifan money to pick up girls. Oh. You are so bad. But you don't touch others at night. When will the right time, place and people be right? In the Su group, Su Ishu asked Yifan with a blushing face while holding the phone, but her expression was full of anticipation. After 3 years of getting along, although Yifan seemed unruly on the surface, Su Ishue could not see through Yifan. From the few words from her grandfather, Su Ishue knew that Yifan was a latent dragon who would take off sooner or later. Now Su Ishue is a little worried, afraid that Yifan will become more successful and no longer want her, so she has been thinking about becoming Yifan's woman as soon as possible. Very soon. Really soon, only 3 days at most. Yifan was also aroused by Su Ishue's teasing. When he was practicing yesterday, the aura in his body had vaguely turned into a dragon shape. Well. There's a business banquet tonight. Can you go with me? There are a few flies that have been pestering me. With you here, they shouldn't be too presumptuous. Good. There was a gleam of ruthlessness in Yifan's eyes. Over the years, Yifan had been keeping a low profile because he had lost all his skills. He paid little attention to those trash who harassed his wife Su Ishu, and was labeled a coward in the outside world. Now is the time to take off that hat. After hanging up the phone with his wife, Yifan started the car and planned to go home to continue practicing. When Yifan thought about the possibility that his junior sister was being coerced, and the tragedy that happened to his master and the Yi family in the past, he felt very upset. Especially the Yi family. Yifan heard that another powerful family had openly declared war on the Yi family. His grandfather was old and his great-grandfather was seriously injured. If he didn't show up, he didn't know if they could hold on. Crunch. When the vehicle just entered an abandoned demolition area, a girl in a white dress suddenly stopped in front of Yifan's vehicle. Brother. Save me. The girl looked less than 20 years old, with rosy skin. Her graceful figure was faintly visible under her long skirt, especially the waves on her chest and the round buttocks under her waist. Her curvy figure was a fatal temptation to men. The girl looked at Yifan from the car window with a look of panic. At this moment, behind the girl, 7 or 8 strong men were dragging steel bars and machetes and were rapidly surrounding the girl. Kindness? Yifan glanced at the 7 or 8 burly men. There was no martial arts aura on their bodies. They were just ordinary people. Yifan has now cultivated the dragon controlling technique to the 8th level. Although his strength has not recovered to its peak, he still has no problem dealing with these gangsters. Boy, I advise you not to meddle in other people's business, or I'll punish you too. The scarred man who was in the lead waved his machete fiercely at Yifan and reached out to grab the girl in the white dress. Yifan frowned, quickly got out of the car, and punched the man's machete fiercely. Snap! Snap! Powerful energy flowed from Yifan's fist, instantly blasting the sword in the man's hand into pieces, which fell to the ground and turned into debris. WTF. Yifan's domineering action shocked all the thugs present so much that their eyes almost popped out of their heads. Oh my god. A group of thugs were so scared that they wanted to escape frantically, but Yifan acted as fast as lightning, and his figure turned into a ghost, quickly shuttling back and forth among the group of thugs. Bang bang bang. In just a few seconds, all the thugs lay on the ground wailing. Let's go. I'll take you away from here first. Yifan glanced at the gangsters lying on the ground and sighed in his heart. My strength hasn't fully recovered yet. In the past, when Yifan was at the peak of his strength, one punch was enough to deal with these thugs. Now it actually took so long. If those enemies who harmed the Yi family and the master in the past came to find him, what should he do? Okay. The girl followed Yifan into the car obediently, her eyes full of joy when she looked at Yifan. After the vehicle left the demolition area and arrived at a bustling commercial district, the girl said to Yifan, "Handsome boy, thank you for saving me just now. My pickup person is here, just drop me off on the side of the road." The car stopped on the side of the road. Before getting out of the car, the girl suddenly took off the necklace from her neck and said, "Handsome boy, I cannot repay you for saving my life, so I will give you this necklace that my mother left for me. You are a cultivator, so this necklace will definitely be of use to you." No need. Yifan was still hesitating. When the girl stuffed the necklace into Yifan's hand, she suddenly put her hands around Yifan's neck and kissed him on the mouth. Snap. This is my first kiss. My future husband, you have to work hard. I'm waiting for you to marry me. You must become stronger as soon as possible. This is all I can do for you. Kindness? Feeling the fragrance between his lips, Yifan was a little confused. What was going on? I just saved a beautiful woman, and she gave me a necklace and said she would wait for me to marry her? Yifan wanted to say something, but the girl had already got off the car, turned around and disappeared into the crowd. Yifan took the necklace in his hand and felt it. His face instantly became solemn. A fourth-grade vitality pill. Yifan looked at the necklace with burning eyes. At this moment, in the middle of a black pendant under the necklace, there was the scent of a fourth-grade vitality pill. Isn't this the perfect elixir to help me break through? That extremely beautiful woman just now, who said she was his future wife, came here specifically to give him the elixir. And she also gave him a beautiful wife. Chapter 7. Back to the top of the world. Trash, tremble. Although Yifan had a lot of doubts in his heart, he knew that now was not the time to investigate these doubts. Without any hesitation, Yifan drove and rushed home quickly. At present, the most urgent task is to recover the skills as soon as possible. In this way, whether it is to rescue his junior sister or to deal with those enemies from the past, Yifan will have the confidence. After Yifan's car left, the girl in the long skirt flashed out from behind the crowd, staring at the direction where Yifan left, muttering to herself, "Husband, don't let Wana down." Next to the girl, another beautiful woman in jeans said, "Miss, do we really want to bet everything on him? Is he really that powerful?" The girl nodded. "Of course, don't forget that he is the first genius in Beiluo Shimon's 500 years to have cultivated the dragon controlling art to the 7th level. Once he completely breaks through the 9th level of the dragon controlling art, he will definitely be the man standing at the top of this world. By that time, everyone will have to kneel down and tremble at his feet." The jeans beauty pouted, "I hope so. Miss, you gave him your only vitality pill. Uncle Fu will scold you again when you go back." The girl in the white dress disagreed. "The husband I choose must be the hope for my family's revival. How about we make a bet? If I win, you will marry him with me." "Oh. Miss, you are teasing me again." Junlantianxia, this is the community where Yifan and Su Ishua's villa is located. After Yifan returned home, he quickly locked the gates of the courtyard and the living room, then entered the bedroom on the 2nd floor, sat upright on the ground, and smashed the pendant under the necklace with one punch. Inside the pendant, a milky white pill appeared in Yifan's hand. The pill was only the size of a finger, but the moment the pendant shattered, a strong fragrance filled the room. Just by sniffing it, Yifan felt refreshed. The surging energy and ancient atmosphere above made Yifan extremely excited. 4th-grade elixirs are rare items in the entire martial arts world and are hard to come by. For ordinary martial arts practitioners, having such a pill is enough to break through to the Grandmaster level or above. After the Grandmaster level, it will be of great help in being promoted to Martial Lord, or even from Martial Lord to Martial Saint. Today, that mysterious pretty girl did me a huge favor. Without any hesitation, Yifan swallowed the pill directly. The pill melted in his mouth and turned into a warm current that entered Yifan's body. In an instant, a tremendous force surged through Yifan's veins, and it felt like his body was going to burst. Yifan did not dare to be careless. He quickly activated the Yulong Ju and began to absorb the huge energy brought by the elixir. He continued to gather energy and climb up. Rays of light continuously flowed outside Yifan's body, slowly at the beginning, then accelerating again and finally getting faster and faster. Yifan's entire body was engulfed in a ball of holy light. At this moment, with Yifan's room as the center, the surrounding world began to dim. It was a sunny day, but suddenly a strong wind started to blow, and clouds began to surge in the sky, forming a huge and majestic vortex. It looked as if the end of the world had come. The powerful oppressive force made all living creatures within a 3-kilometer radius dare not move at will. At the same time, in the monitoring room of the Yuncheng Tan Military Division headquarters, the alarm began to sound shrilly, "Minister, it's bad." A huge energy fluctuation suddenly appeared in Yuncheng. On the monitoring screen, a shocking energy fluctuation pattern was fluctuating violently. Mo Zhang, the head of Yuncheng Tan's military affairs department, was shocked and stepped forward to check. A solemn look appeared in his eyes. According to the energy fluctuations, this is at least a master level or above who is breaking through. When did Yuncheng have such a powerful master? Looks like it's in the western suburbs of Yuncheng. Let's go over there and take a look. It seems like it's too late. Such a powerful master has appeared in Yuncheng. We must be cautious. It's best to make friends with him. Otherwise, if he becomes an enemy, it will be troublesome. In the practice of cultivation, breaking through the Hua Jin is an obstacle that many people cannot break through in their lifetime. Successful people are only 1 in 1,000. And after Hua Jin, to the level of control, if you want to break through to the Grandmaster level, that is another chasm. Looking at the entire Daxia, masters who have broken through to the Grandmaster level are definitely well-known and famous figures. It is definitely not a wise thing to offend a master. In Yifan's villa, as the circulation in Yifan's body became faster and faster, Yifan felt that deep in his dantian, something that had been silent for a long time finally began to show cracks. Snap! Snap! When Yifan had practiced the dragon taming technique for the 10th cycle, he felt as if an eggshell had broken in his dantian. A mysterious and ancient powerful force awakened in Yifan's body, like a ferocious beast, or like a demon from hell. Oh! A dragon roar came from Yifan's body, and the golden light around Yifan instantly turned into a 9-clawed golden dragon, which circled around Yifan 3 times, and finally leisurely sank into Yifan's body. As for the surroundings of the villa, there had just been a strong wind, the sky and the earth were in a strange direction, and the turbulent atmosphere instantly gathered in the room. As the golden dragon disappeared, everything instantly returned to normal. The sun is shining and the weather is nice. As if nothing happened. In the room, Yifan felt that his whole body was filled with infinite power. The power of his martial arts energy was dozens of times stronger than before, and his perception was dozens of times stronger than before. At this moment, Yifan could almost clearly sense the movement of an ant underground 500 meters away. Dragon controlling technique. 9th level. Breakthrough. Yifan's strength was at the peak of Grandmaster before he was injured, but now, Yifan is very clear that his strength has already surpassed the Grandmaster by several levels. It is definitely above the peak of martial honor. Whether he has already broken through to the martial saint, Yifan is not sure yet. But what Yifan can be sure of is that if those enemies who destroyed his master and the Yi family in the past stood in front of Yifan again at this moment, Yifan could slaughter them all by himself. Congratulations, young master. You have broken through the 9th level of the dragon controlling technique. Yifan had just stood up when Hanshua flashed into the room and said, according to the arrangement of the sect leader, after the young master breaks through the 9th level of the dragon controlling technique, it will be up to the young master to decide when to activate the heavenly killing plan and launch a full-scale revenge. While speaking, Hanshua respectfully handed a token to Yifan. This token is the symbol of Beiluo Shimon's highest authority. When the token was handed to Yifan, Yifan knew that his master had officially handed Beiluo Shaman over to him. That year, after the sect was attacked, the master ordered all the vassal forces under the Beiluo sect to hide and wait for the opportunity. The heavenly killing plan. Activate it immediately. Those who destroyed my master's sect back then should pay the price. A gloomy look flashed across Yifan's face. Also, Hanshua, go investigate immediately. What is the current situation of the Yi family? Now that I have completely recovered my strength and even surpassed my previous peak strength, it is time to consider returning to the Yi family. As the only heir of the Yi family for 3 generations, Yifan cannot let the Yi family decline. The first family of Daxia must continue to be glorious. Chapter 8, Breaking off the engagement. Then I'll divorce her first. Yes. Hanshua stepped back and quickly began to issue orders to Beiluo Shimon's hidden forces around the world. In an instant, their whole world began to boil. In Europa, the head of the Rozold family, Frank, saw the command he received on his phone and burst into tears. Has the young master finally awakened? That's great. Fuck those bastards, fuck them. On the battlefield in West Africa, a man who looked like a black bear, who was actually the internationally feared whirlwind killer, also looked up to the east because of an order. The emperor is still alive, I have a new goal to pursue in this life. In a manor somewhere in the United States, a beautiful woman who had just broken the neck of a wealthy man, saw the command on her phone and the muscles on her face twitched twice. Damn bastard. You made so many tears from me, this time when I come back, I will pin you to the bed and make you pay it back. By the way, I haven't known the taste of a man for a long time, you have no conscience, just wait for me. While speaking, the beauty licked her sexy lips seductively. Daxia. The top. Japan. As Yifan issued an order, their whole world began to boil. The god-killing plan is launched. Everyone knows that Beiluo Shaman has not been destroyed, and the number 1 monstrous genius of Beiluo Shaman in those days has not fallen, but has risen again. This time, it's the enemy's turn to start trembling. In Yuncheng, Yifan tidied up his bedroom and drove towards the Yi family compound that he had been longing for. At that time, when I was practicing in the sect, my grandfather and great-grandfather often secretly went to the mountain to see Yifan. Now 3 years have passed, and I don't know how the two old men are doing. During his 3 years of hiding in Yuncheng, Yifan had passed by the gate of the Yi family compound countless times, but because he had lost all his skills and his master's advice, he was afraid that his enemies would find any clues, so Yifan never stepped in even once. And now, Yifan's strength has finally recovered completely and surpassed the peak. He can finally go back openly. However, in order to carry out the plan smoothly, Yifan does not intend to reveal his strength in front of his grandfather for the time being. When Yifan drove to the Yi family compound, he found that there were several luxury cars parked at the gate. Looking at the license plate, it seemed to be the license plate of the Shen family, another big family in Daxia. The Shen family and the Yi family are both among the 6 most powerful families in Daxia, and the Shen family has always had a friendly relationship with the Yi family. But since the Yi family was attacked 3 years ago, the Shen family has had less and less contact with the Yi family. Why are you here today? Yifan stopped the car and said to the bodyguards at the door, "Please make way for me. Yifan, the eldest young master of the Yi family, is back." Yifan thought that these bodyguards would greet him excitedly, but what Yifan didn't expect was that the bodyguards looked calm. "Boy, you have hands and feet, why do you want to cheat? Let me tell you, this month, this is the 13th group of people who want to pretend to be young masters. Get out of here, don't force us to use force." Kindness? Yifan was stunned for a moment. There was actually someone who wanted to pretend to be him? Yifan understood instantly. He had left the family to practice outside when he was 1 year old and had not returned for more than 20 years. Although his grandfather and great-grandfather had visited him, it was all kept absolutely confidential. Naturally, the bodyguards at home did not know Yifan. Although the Yi family is now in decline, they are still a giant in Daxia even though they are still alive and kicking. If one can enter the Yi family, at least they will have no problem with food and clothing. I am really the eldest son of the Yi family. Yifan wanted to prove his identity, but suddenly found that he didn't know how to start. If you don't believe me, let my grandfather come over and we can do a DNA comparison. Do you think the Yi family has nothing to do? Are you going to play with me? Get out of here. If you don't get out of here, we will really start fighting. While speaking, several bodyguards at the door began to take out their steel bars, as if they were really planning to attack Yifan. Yifan sighed helplessly. Is it so difficult for him to go home? Yifan was thinking about whether to force his way in, when a white-haired old man suddenly appeared from the room. Stop. He is really the young master, let him in. Master, you are finally back. The master and the old lady missed you so much, come in quickly, we are discussing your important matter today. Uncle Zhang. The bodyguards bowed respectfully to the old man and let him take Yifan into the Yi family compound. As they walked towards their hall, after some introduction by Uncle Zhang, Yifan also learned that Uncle Zhang in front of him was the steward of the Yi family, named Wang Zhang, who had followed his grandfather for many years. In fact, 3 years ago, when Yifan married into the Su family, the Yi family already knew Yifan's identity. They were just afraid that Yifan's master had other arrangements, so they did not disturb Yifan. However, they knew everything about Yifan's behavior in the past few years. Master, I know your behavior over the past few years. If I have a bad temper, please bear with me. Damn it. A disciple of the Yi family actually spends their whole day in the club. The master of the Yi family is almost losing face. How can you not get angry? Yifan felt a little embarrassed. Before he approached their hall with Zhang Bo, he heard a quarrel coming from their hall. Grandpa Yi, it's not that my Shen family is unreasonable. It's true that our two families did have an engagement back then, but up to now, the grandson of the Yi family knows whether he will live or die. Are you going to let our Yufei just sit there and wait? What if your grandson is already dead? Will our Yufei still be a widow? No, today, this engagement must be cancelled. The one who spoke was Shen Yufei's second uncle Shen Jinghua, who is also the current head of the Shen family. Many years ago, when the Yi family and the Shen family were on such a good relationship, the old man of the Shen family and the old man of the Yi family arranged a marriage for their great-grandson and great-granddaughter. And now, the Yi family was attacked, and Yifan's master's sect was also attacked. Yifan's life or death is unknown, so the Shen family came to cancel the engagement. Bullshit. Who said my grandson is dead? It's just. Yi Changfeng, the old man of the Yi family, thought of his grandson's actions in recent years and felt so angry that his teeth were itching. 3 years ago, I was indeed injured, but I hung out in the club every day. I am a woman, and I am willing to marry such a bastard. However, at this moment, the old man of the Yi family naturally cannot lose his momentum. The Shen family broke off the engagement. If Yi Changfeng agreed to it, where would the Yi family put their face? Besides, the Yi family is now being besieged by several other major forces. If the Shen family breaks away again, the pressure faced by the Yi family will be even greater. I wonder how long the Yi family can hold on. Grandpa Yi, we all know about the sneak attack on the Yi family. In the past 3 years, our Shen family has not taken advantage of the situation. You know how much we have helped the Yi family, both openly and secretly. What if I beg you today? Yu Fei can't delay any longer. If your grandson is still alive, let him come and let everyone see him. Shen Jinghua, as the patriarch of the Shen family, is naturally no pushover. From the perspectives of reason, friendship, and many other aspects, Yi Changfeng had no way to refute. Yi Changfeng let out a long sigh. He naturally knew about the help from the Shen family over the years. If it weren't for the Shen family's secret support, the situation of the Yi family might be even worse now. Just as Yi Changfeng was about to continue speaking, Yifan suddenly strode into their hall, glanced at Shen Jinghua and the others and said, I, the 4th-generation grandson of the Yi family, Yifan, am back. Don't you want to cancel the engagement? I agree, but... Yifan paused, but it's not you who can cancel this marriage. It's me, Yifan, who will divorce her. When Yifan spoke, he pointed his finger at Shen Yufei. Swish! All eyes at the scene turned to Yifan instantly, and their hall was silent. Chapter 9, You won't be able to reach the man at the top of the world in the future. Domineering. Mighty. It really has the style of Laozi in his old days. This was the first feeling that came to the mind of Yi Changfeng, the old man of the Yi family, but he immediately became a little worried. Damn it. You did try to show off, but how will it end? The family opposite is the Shen family, a family that is as powerful as the Yi family. You are you? When Shen Yufei heard Yifan's words, she was angry at first. She was the daughter of the Shen family, and so many people were lining up to ask her to marry him, but this ungrateful bastard from the Yi family actually wanted to divorce her first. How would I face myself if this gets out? But after Shen Yufei saw Yifan's face clearly, she became even angrier. Isn't he this Yifan, the famous frequent visitor to Yuncheng's club recently? Every time I go to the club, I have to find a dozen girls. It is said that when those girls come out, many of them can't walk steadily. Is this Yifan really that powerful? Yu Fei, do you know him? Shen Jinghua was the head of the family after all. Although he was very angry in his heart, he was still able to control his emotions. He turned around and asked Shen Yufei in confusion. Humph. Who in Yuncheng doesn't know him? In the past 3 years, young Master Yi has either been in the club or on his way to the club. He is almost the boss of Yuncheng's club. I, Shen Yufei, will never marry such a man even if I die. Shen Yufei spoke with great anger, as if Yifan had done something to him. Yifan touched his nose. He was clearly saving thousands of girls, which was a good thing for mankind. Why was Shen Yufei so disgusted? You really don't want to get married? Don't regret it later. I tell you, I will be a man you can't afford. Yifan looked at Shen Yufei intently and said with a smile. Now Yifan has broken through the 9th level of the dragon taming art and has become the man standing at the top of the world. I am not exaggerating when I say this. Shen Yufei was speechless for a while. Before she could speak, another young man beside her hurriedly said, Regret. Who do you think you are? You are a piece of trash who hangs out in the club every day. You are not worthy of Yufei at all. Bang. The young man was still muttering, but Yifan didn't say anything, he just walked up to him and slapped him hard in the face. Damn it. Did I talk to you? If you keep talking, I'll chop you into pieces and feed you to the dogs. Do you believe it? Yifan did not tolerate the young man at all. There was something wrong with his eyes as soon as he looked at the young man. While everyone was talking, the young man's eyes were always searching Shen Yufei, as if he wanted to strip Shen Yufei's clothes off. Damn it. She is my fiancée. Even if I don't want her, how can you just look at her casually? I'm from the Lin family, how dare you hit me? Why do you? The young man covered his swollen face, jumped up and yelled. I'm the eldest son of the Yi family. What's going on? You want to hit me, do you dare? Yifan vividly displayed the image of an arrogant young man, stretching his face in front of the young man. Come on, if you have the guts, you can fight. Whoever doesn't fight will be his grandson. The young man looked at the old man of the Yi family who was sitting on top with a gloomy face, but he was actually smiling inwardly. He muttered a few words. How could he dare to take action? This is the Yi family, and the old man of the Yi family is known for protecting his shortcomings. If he really takes action, even if he is the eldest son of the Lin family, he may not be able to get out of here intact. Okay, Master Lin, don't say anything. Xian Jingwa stopped Master Lin and turned to Yi Changfeng and said, Master Yi, I have also heard about Yi Fan. Let's not talk about the club issue for now, but he is already the son-in-law of the Su family and is married, and he still wants to marry Yu Fei. Isn't this inappropriate? What's wrong with that? As a martial arts master, who cares about these broken rules? Isn't your old grandfather the same? Old Master Yi knew Yi Fan's situation better than anyone else. Although Yi Fan's marriage into the Su family was most likely arranged by Yi Fan's master, everyone would always have their own ideas in front of outsiders. What's more, it's a wealthy family like the Shen family. However, the old man of the Shen family did just as Yi Changfeng said. He had more than one wife. This made it difficult for Xian Jingwa to respond, so he had to change the subject. Grandpa Yi, even if that's the case, is Yi Fan in front of us really a member of the Yi family? How can we prove it? Xian Jingwa's words made Lin Xiao unable to hold back again. Yes. Grandpa Yi, how can you be sure that this guy in front of you is really a member of the Yi family? Maybe any cat or dog will come to pretend to be a member of the Yi family, won't you be deceived? Yi Changfeng couldn't help but roll his eyes. Doesn't he know whether Yi Fan is a member of the Yi family? For more than 20 years, the old man and the great-grandfather would secretly go to the sect to see Yi Fan. It's only 3 years since they last met. Could they recognize the wrong person? Moreover, when Master Yi Fan arranged this matter, he probably also notified the old man of the Yi family to cooperate. How could Yi Fan's identity be wrong? Otherwise, with Mr. Yi's temper, would he allow Yi Fan to say so much here? Damn it. Don't you understand what people say? I told you to stop talking, stop talking. Yi Fan got angry when he heard Lin Xiao talking. He stepped forward and kicked him to the ground, then kicked Lin Xiao in the crotch again and again. Puff. Puff. It was the sound of eggs breaking, and Lin Xiao finally fainted from the pain. Shen Yufei couldn't stand it anymore and reached out to stop Yi Fan. Yi Fan, don't go too far. I'm telling you, even if you say anything, I won't marry you. Just give up on this idea. I didn't say I wanted to marry you. Although a forced melon can quench your thirst, I prefer sweet things. Yi Fan gave Shen Yufei a wicked look. It must be said that Shen Yufei's curvy figure was indeed top-notch, comparable to the chick who gave him the elixir before. I hope you don't regret it. Give me the marriage certificate. Yi Fan glanced around and saw the marriage certificate on the table next to him. He grabbed it and wrote a big on it with a pen. Then he signed his name and threw the marriage certificate to Shen Yufei. Take it. We have nothing to do with each other from now on. Kindness? Looking at Yi Fan's name signed on the marriage certificate, Shen Yufei was a little confused for a moment. In Shen Yufei's imagination, given the current situation of the Yi family, shouldn't Yi Fan be pestering her and begging her to marry him? Why did Yi Fan agree so easily? Moreover, the key point is that Yi Fan looked at him with a look of disdain. Did he look down on him? What's wrong with me? Why can't I catch his eye? Especially when she saw the word, it was not very harmful, but extremely insulting. Shen Yufei felt like a toy that no one wanted. What? You're not leaving yet? If you don't leave, why don't we go straight to the bridal chamber? Yi Fan looked at Shen Yufei, who was in a daze, and looked her up and down with an evil look, making Shen Yufei feel a little uncomfortable. Shameless. After that, Shen Yufei bowed slightly to Yi Changfeng and said, Grandpa Yi, I'm sorry, I have to go first. The goal was achieved, and Shen Jingwa said goodbye and left. A few people left the Yi family compound. When getting in the car, Shen Yufei suddenly stopped and said to Shen Jingwa, Second uncle. Is it really right for us to do this? I always feel that today's situation is a little different from what I imagined. I can't quite figure out Yi Fan. Shen Jingwa was not a fool. He saw some clues from the scene of Yi Fan attacking Lin Xiao just now. Are you saying that Yi Fan is hiding his abilities? That incident back then did not have any impact on Yi Fan. Shen Yufei shook her head. I can't explain it clearly, but the moment Yi Fan signed just now, I felt like something was moving away. Don't think too much. Even if Yifan comes back, what happened back then won't have much impact on him, but the Yi family is facing a difficult situation now, and it will be difficult to survive this disaster. A master at the top level of the Grandmaster is coming to kill them. The old man of the Yi family is seriously injured and has not recovered, and the descendants of the Yi family are dwindling. Who can stop them? I hope they can make it. Xian Jinghua glanced at the Yi family residence behind him, then stepped into the car and left quickly. Chapter 10. A master has set his sights on the Yi family. Yi family residence, after everyone left. Old Master Yi Changfeng glanced around, quickly grabbed Yi Fan, and walked quickly to the backyard. You bastard, what are you doing back at this time? You don't know, yesterday a master has set his sights on the Yi family, saying that he will come to wipe out our entire Yi family within 2 days. Aren't you going to die if you come back now? Yi Changfeng complained to Yi Fan unhappily, go see your grandfather, and then I will arrange a plane to send you abroad immediately, otherwise our Yi family will really be extinct. Go abroad? Why should we go abroad? Doesn't the Yi family still have the Great Master? The Great Master is also a master-level expert. Are you afraid that they will provoke you? The reason why the Yi family became one of the 6 major families in Daxia is because of the Yi family's grandfather. The grandfather of the Yi family reached the Grandmaster level before he was 30 years old. He personally founded the Qianlong army and guarded the southwest of Daxia with an army of 800,000 for 50 years. Since the Qianlong 9 armies began to guard the border, there has been no war at the southwestern border. Oh! Don't mention it. A month ago, your grandfather was severely injured by a mysterious master. His strength has not recovered yet. Your sister is guarding the border and cannot come back. The situation of the Yi family is very urgent now. Listening to Yi Changfeng's narration, Yi Fan frowned. Are those people who attacked the Yi family back then attacking again? Even the great-grandfather who was at the master level was seriously injured. It seems that the opponent is quite powerful. By the way, your master arranged for you to stay in the Su family for 3 years, why did he suddenly let you come back now? Has your strength recovered? Grandpa Yi Changfeng looked at Yi Fan expectantly. Yi Changfeng was still very confident about his grandson. He had already reached the Grandmaster level when he was less than 20 years old. If it weren't for the great battle 3 years ago, when Yi Fan's bones were damaged, I'm afraid Yi Fan would be a martial arts master now, right? No. Yi Fan responded, let's go see great-grandfather first. Alas! This is all fate. Those damn bastards are hoping that my Yi family will fall, but they don't know that if my Yi family falls, how will they be able to live better? When Yi Fan and his grandfather were walking towards the backyard, he suddenly turned around and looked at his grandfather and said, by the way, Grandpa, do you know who wants to deal with our Yi family? Yi Changfeng shook his head. We have been investigating for so many years and have no evidence. But I am sure of one thing, this matter is definitely related to the Lin family. The Lin family is also one of the 6 great families in Daxia. They also control another tiger army in Daxia, guarding the southeast. However, their prestige and influence are much weaker than that of the Yi family. However, over the years, the Lin family has never given up competing with the Yi family for the position of the number 1 family. No evidence is needed, as long as we know that it is related to the Lin family. At worst, we can just destroy them. There was a ruthless look in Yi Fan's eyes. Others did not know how terrifying the power of Beiluo Shaman was, but Yi Fan knew it. Back then, if it weren't for the sudden attack by those mysterious masters, no one would have been able to shake Beiluo Shaman. Yi Changfeng was stunned. His eldest grandson seemed different from before. Well, he was very arrogant before, and after marrying into the Su family for 3 years, he seemed even more arrogant. Is this because of being held back? My poor grandson. In the backyard, Yi Fan saw the look on great-grandfather Yi Qinquan's face and instinctively wanted to attack. However, thinking that his current strength was not easy to expose, he had to forcibly hold back and did not attack. Great-grandfather, don't worry, I will definitely find a doctor to help you heal. If it's difficult for me to do it myself, then I can only find a great doctor and let him do it for me. Ding dong. Yi Fan's phone suddenly received a message from Hanzhua, young master. I found out that recently there is a master named Qian Kuei who is said to have slaughtered the entire Yi family. That guy has no sect and often appears in the black market of Yuncheng. Looking at the message on the phone, Yi Fan's mouth curled up. Qian Kuei? You dare to attack my Yi family? Then I'll start with you. And by the way, let's see how powerful I am. Seeing Yifan's look, Yi Changfeng was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. Yifan, what do you mean? Aren't you going to leave? Leave? Why should I leave? Grandpa, don't worry. He is just a master, I can kill him easily. Yifan spoke quickly and said what he really thought. Now that Yifan has broken through the 9th level of the dragon taming technique, his strength surpasses that of martial master. For a moment, Yifan couldn't think of who could be his opponent. Perhaps, those big guys from the 4 holy places can fight with me? Stop messing around, Dad. Yifan is ignorant, so please stop being stubborn. Yi Changfeng wanted to persuade him, but Yi Qinquan interrupted him directly. What's the point of being a deserter? Isn't it just death? Look at Yifan, he is a real man of the Yi family. Even though I am injured now, as long as they dare to come, even if they are masters, I will still tear a piece of their flesh off. Although Yi Qinquan was lying on the bed, the domineering attitude he revealed while speaking infected Yifan. This is the burning blood of the Yi family's men. Seeing that he could not persuade the old man and the child, Yi Changfeng could only sigh helplessly, alas. I have already requested support from Shanjing, and as for the Qianlong army, several of your former subordinates are also rushing to Yuncheng after hearing the news. I hope you can make it through. Grandpa, great-grandfather, you guys take a rest first, I'm going to take care of something and come to see you later. Now that we know that it is Qian Kuei who wants to take action against the Yi family, the best way is to kill Qian Kuei before he takes action. After leaving the Yi family residence, Yifan rushed to the black market in Yuncheng according to the address given by Hanzhua. In the Lin family compound, Lin Dong had gauze wrapped around his crotch, his legs spread apart, leaning on a chair. Almost all the top leaders of the Lin family were there, and their faces looked solemn. Lin Dong, do you mean to say that the evil offspring of the Yi family is not dead? And his back. The one who spoke was Lin Hua, the head of the Lin family, who was also the governor of Qiannan province and held a high position of power. Yes. Second uncle, I saw it with my own eyes. We are all familiar with Yifan. He is the son-in-law of the Su family and has lived in Yuncheng for 3 years. We didn't even know about him. Lin Hua's face was gloomy. He is playing tricks on us. It's been 3 years. I didn't expect that the evil child of the Yi family is still alive and has lived under our noses for 3 years. But I don't understand why he suddenly came back at this time. Yes. The Yi family is obviously about to be destroyed now. Isn't Yifan seeking death by coming back at this time? A group of people from the Lin family spoke one after another, expressing their thoughts. Since he dared to come back, he must have some hidden card. You know, Beiluo Shaman was the #1 sect in the martial arts world back then. Yifan is the #1 genius of Beiluo Shaman, we must not take it lightly. Listening to everyone's analysis, Lin Hua nodded, everyone is right. However, our top priority at this stage is to get Lin Dong and the girl from the Shen family married as soon as possible. With the support of the Shen family, our Lin family can make further progress. But, second uncle, my balls were crippled by that bastard Yifan. Even after getting married, I can't do anything even though I look at the beautiful Shen Yufei. Lin Dong's eyes were about to spit fire. That abominable Yifan actually dared to cripple him. Lin Hua glanced at Lin Dong calmly and said, this is all a small matter. At most, I can ask the doctor to put a teddy bear toothpick in your place in a few days. It will work just as well. Chapter 11, Fishing Enforcement. I have a glowing 3090 at home. The Yuncheng Black Market is located in the eastern suburbs of Yuncheng, in the basement of an abandoned factory. Because there is the support of the sect behind it, even the official authorities dare not touch this place easily. This place is open 24 hours a day, so even at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the parking lot outside the black market is full of various luxury cars. Since he didn't intend to reveal his strength so soon, Yifan didn't plan to use his true face. After parking the car, Yifan pinched his face casually in front of the mirror, and then another handsome and unfamiliar face appeared in front of him. The art of disguise, this is a classic technique of Yifan's school. My damn face, no matter how I manipulate it, it's just one word, handsome. Yi Junqian. At the registration place, Yifan casually reported a name. As for the treasure verification, any one of the pills on Yifan's body would be enough to qualify for entry. After all, over the years, in order for Yifan to recover as soon as possible, the sect has basically invested all of its cultivation resources on Yifan. Although 4th grade elixirs are not easy to obtain, Yifan still has several of them on him. These pills still have great appeal to martial arts masters below the martial honor level. The black market in the basement was very spacious, about the size of a football field. It was divided into many stalls and corridors. People who entered the black market could set up their own stalls or trade freely. It's just that the lighting is a little dim, and it looks full of mystery. Yifan took a quick glance and saw that there were quite a few people in the room, at least thousands of them. It was still too difficult to find Qian Kuei in such a dim light, even if Yifan had the help of the magic pupil. According to the information given by Henshuo, the most obvious characteristic of Qian Kuei is greed. In this black market, what Qian Kuei did most was to kill and rob. He would secretly lure out some people who had treasures, and then kill them and rob them of the treasures. Although this breaks the moral rules, Qian Kuei is very smart and never causes trouble in the black market. The sect behind the black market has no way to deal with Qian Kuei. Everyone, look here. I have top quality elixirs here that can assist in cultivation, as well as help you break through and heal your wounds. The highest grade elixirs are of the 3rd grade and are only for exchange, not for sale. If you have any good treasures, come and exchange with me. Yifan took out a few pills and deliberately showed them off in front of everyone. According to the experience of the underworld, when you are outside, especially in a black market like this, it is best not to show off your wealth. But Yifan did this on purpose, just to lure the snake out of its hole and lure out Qian Kuei. A 3rd grade elixir? This is a good thing. It would cost at least 10 million yuan per pill on the market, right? It really is. This fragrance is so strong. Brother, I have to remind you that you shouldn't take out so many good things at once. It's okay in the black market, but once you leave this black market, if you don't sell your things, you will be in trouble. People kept gathering around, some were sighing in surprise, while others were trying to give Yifan some good advice. But Yifan just smiled slightly. Rob? With my current strength, who dares to rob me? If they dare to rob me, I will skin them alive. Several people wanted to come over and exchange their skills, martial arts, and some medicinal herbs with Yifan, but they were not the people Yifan was looking for, so Yifan naturally ignored them. Yifan walked and shouted as he went. After turning around for a while, an old man in a tang suit came towards him with a smile. Seeing the pill in Yifan's hand, the old man did not hide the greed in his eyes at all. He is here. The information Henshuo provided was very complete, and included a photo of Qian Kuei, who was the old man in front of him. Brother, are you planning to exchange all these pills? Qian Kuei took 2 steps forward and took a closer look at the pills in Yifan's hand. They were indeed 3rd grade pills. Recently, Qian Kuei felt that he had reached a bottleneck in his cultivation. He has been stuck at the Grandmaster level for many years, but his strength has not been able to break through. If I had the help of these 3rd grade elixirs, maybe my strength could break through to the Martial Master level in one fell swoop. Yes. Brother, do you have any good treasures? If you have treasures, I have a lot of pills here for you to see. While speaking, Yifan took out several boxes from his body again, which were all filled with pills of various sizes. At this moment, Yifan already had more than a dozen medicine boxes in his hands. There were so many pills that Qian Kuei's eyes widened. I met a sucker today. There were several older brothers around who looked at Yifan with regret and wanted to speak up to remind him, but Qian Kuei glanced at the people around him sharply, and the warning in his eyes was self-evident. This stuff belongs to me today. If anyone dares to snatch it from me, I will fight you to the death. Great. I really have a lot of treasures hidden in my house, including martial arts techniques, some treasure maps, and some precious medicinal herbs. How about you come with me and take a look at my house? Qian Kuei looked at Yifan with anticipation, fearing that Yifan would not agree. When you come to my house, you can pick any treasure you like. I will definitely be generous. While Qian Kuei was speaking, he walked forward with a burning look in his eyes and hugged Yifan's shoulders affectionately. Those who don't know would think that Yifan and Qian Kuei are brothers who haven't seen each other for many years. Yifan sneered in his heart. This Qian Kuei's acting skills are good enough to win an Oscar for Best Actor. It is probably because he has done this kind of murder and robbery too many times, and he is very familiar with the process. Really? Shall we leave now? Yifan pretended to be surprised and said, but brother, you can't lie to me. Let me tell you, I am also a martial arts master, and my strength is not weak. If you lie to me, I will not be polite. Yifan deliberately controlled his aura to around the control stage. Such strength is indeed not low in the secular world. But for the Grandmaster Chen Kuei, it is not worth mentioning and he can completely control it. Of course, let's go. Let's do the deal quickly, I have other things to do tonight. Chen Kuei was a little anxious. He had promised the big shot, and the big shot had urged him several times. He must take action against the Yi family tonight. Yifan could naturally guess that what Chen Kuei meant to do was to take action against the Yi family. Snort. If you want to take action against the Yi family, then I will send you off first. As Yifan and Chen Kuei walked towards the exit together, the crowd behind them began to sigh with regret. Alas! What a pity! Such a good guy is going to suffer again. That old bastard has probably done this 7 or 8 times this month, and no one dares to stop him. After all, he is a master of the Grandmaster level. He is really bringing shame to martial arts masters. Yifan followed Chen Kuei out of the black market. At Chen Kuei's enthusiastic invitation, Yifan did not drive his own car, but followed Chen Kuei into his car, leaving the Yuncheng black market and leaving quickly. But Chen Kuei was not driving towards the city, but towards the outside of Yuncheng. Chen Kuei drove very fast. In less than 10 minutes, he had traveled more than 10 kilometers. Chen Kuei finally parked the car next to a forest. On one side of the forest was a wasteland, and on the other side was a 1,000-foot cliff. Brother, are we here already? This doesn't look like home. Yifan got out of the car. In fact, he already knew Chen Kuei's thoughts, but he asked deliberately. Home? Har har. Young man, this is the cemetery I chose for you. What do you think? It has good feng shui, right? There are mountains and water. Just hand over your things obediently, and I will give you a quick death. Chen Kuei looked at Yifan calmly, and the fox's tail was finally revealed. Chapter 12, tried to show off but got beaten up instead, easily crushed. Graveyard. Brother, you are mistaken, right? Aren't we here to trade? Didn't you say you have a lot of treasures to exchange with me? I have so many elixirs here, we can definitely cooperate well. A sneer appeared on Yifan's lips, without any panic like Xiaobai. But Chen Kuei didn't notice all this. At this moment, all he had eyes for were the pills in Yifan's hand. Trade? Dream on. Young man, you are too naive. I, Chen Kuei, have never had the habit of trading with others. If I like something, I usually take it with my fists. While speaking, Chen Kuei walked towards Yifan step by step. Boy, don't even think about attacking me. I have already tested you. You are only at the control level. I can kill you with one palm. Hand over the things obediently. If you have any last words, tell me. Of course, I won't do it for you even if you tell me. Bad. This old man is so bad. But I want to try. Yifan put away the smile on his face and stared at Chen Kuei with a gloomy face. Try? Try it, what a waste of time. Chen Kuei had walked to a position less than 2 meters away from Yifan. He was a little impatient with Yifan's behavior. He stretched out his hand and slapped Yifan on the shoulder, intending to knock Yifan unconscious first, loot all the treasures on his body, and then throw him under the cliff to feed the eagles. Chen Kuei did this before. Boom! Powerful energy surged from Chen Kuei's palm and hit Yifan's shoulder with a fierce murderous aura. I have to say, the strength of the Grandmaster level is still terrifying. The powerful aura surged violently in all directions, cutting down a large number of surrounding trees. But after one palm strike, the scene that Chen Kuei expected did not occur. Yifan stood there, his body didn't move at all, even his breathing didn't change. Didn't you eat? You only have so much strength. Yifan stared at Chen Kuei with a smile, his eyes full of mockery. Oh shit! Chen Kuei's eyes were full of confusion. What was going on? Was the palm strike you just now fake? How come this guy doesn't react at all when I take the photo? Go to hell! Chen Kuei waved his fist again in disbelief and punched Yifan in the chest. Boom! Boom! This time, Chen Kuei used all his strength to tear the air apart, causing a wailing sound. A full-strength punch from a master is enough to destroy a building. This kid in front of me looks to be in his early 20s at most. No matter how strong he is, it should be impossible for him to reach the Grandmaster level, right? I don't believe that I can't kill him with just one punch. But the fact is, after Chen Kuei threw a punch, he watched his fist stop 3 inches in front of Yifan's chest. A visible energy force appeared around Yifan's body, like a wall, blocking his fist tightly. No matter how hard Qian Kuei tried to mobilize his power, he could not move forward at all. Gang Qi. You actually cultivated Gang Qi. This is impossible. At this time, Qian Kuei finally discovered that something was wrong. How could the Yifan in front of him be at any level of control? It is said that only those at the peak of martial honor or even martial saint level can form such a powerful protective qi. But Yifan is only in his early 20s, how could he have such powerful strength? HMPH. Impossible, it's just that you haven't seen it. Yifan glanced at Qian Kuei indifferently. Now it's my turn to take action. Swish. Without any hesitation, Yifan slapped Qian Kuei on the head. Phew. Yifan controlled his strength very well. He hit Qian Kuei's head without causing it to explode, but the force went through Qian Kuei's body like a pile driver, knocking half of Qian Kuei into the mud. Snap. Snap. Yifan attacked again, and with 2 punches, Qian Kuei's dantian was destroyed, his arm and thigh were broken. Qian Kuei collapsed on the ground, looking at Yifan with fear. Boss, spare my life, I was wrong, I didn't recognize the real master, please spare my life. Qian Kuei's voice was trembling as he spoke. From Yifan's actions just now, Qian Kuei could see that Yifan's strength was definitely more than 1 level higher than his, and he completely crushed him. What is funny is that he was still jumping up and down in front of Yifan, pretending to be cool. Isn't this just asking for trouble? Yifan ignored Qian Kuei and found a stone nearby. He then squatted down beside Qian Kuei and looked at him coldly. I'll ask you a few questions. If you answer them to my satisfaction, I'll give you a quick death. If you're not satisfied, I'll knock out one of your teeth if you make a mistake. Boss, why? I can give you money and a lot of treasures. Even if I want to steal your things, you can still not kill me. Shut up. Am I asking you or are you asking me? Snap. Without any hesitation, Yifan knocked out one of Qian Kuei's front teeth. Qian Kuei grimaced in pain, but he could also see that Yifan was a ruthless man. Tell me, who asked you to destroy the Yi family? Yifan came to Qian Kuei today to solve the hidden danger of the Yi family, and Qian Kuei was the clue. You are the helper invited by the Yi family. Who are you exactly? Qian Kuei said halfway when he suddenly realized that he seemed to be wrong again and shouldn't he have asked. Snap. Sure enough, Yifan knocked out another tooth. Do you want to tell me, or do you want me to keep knocking my teeth? If you still don't tell me after my teeth are knocked out, I can consider sticking toothpicks into your fingers, or using a tiger bench or sky lanterns. There are at least 100 ways to make you live a life worse than death. Listening to Yifan's words, Qian Kuei knew that Yifan really did what he said. I'll tell you. It was a big boss in the provincial capital who asked me to do it, but we only contacted each other over the phone, and I've never met him in person. But I heard that he seemed to be commissioned by the Lin family. Snort. Lin family. Is it the Lin family again? Now Yifan is beginning to have doubts as to whether the Lin family was directly involved in the attack and siege on the Yi family. Yifan asked a few more questions, but Qian Kuei did not give any useful information. Boss, I've told you everything I know. I'll give you all my wealth and treasures. Please spare my life, okay? Qian Kuei squirmed on the ground, begging Yifan humbly. Yifan's mouth twitched. Transfer your money to me first, I'll see if it's enough to buy your life. Yifan reported the card number to Qian Kuei, then took out Qian Kuei's mobile phone and used facial recognition to transfer money. As a result, Yifan discovered that this guy actually had billions in cash. In addition, Qian Kuei also stored diamonds, skills, and elixirs in the password box. Qian Kuei obediently gave all the treasures to Yifan, including the password to the password box and the key to the front door of his villa. After telling Yifan the password, he looked at Yifan expectantly. Boss, is that enough now? It's time to go. Yifan smiled coldly and stepped on Qian Kuei's neck. Snap. Qian Kuei's neck was broken and he died on the spot and went to meet the king of hell. How could Yifan possibly keep such a scumbag? However, there are so many treasures hidden in Qian Kuei Villa. It seems that I must find time to go there and get them back. After cleaning up the scene briefly, Yifan drove Qian Kuei's car and quickly returned to the city. Seeing that it was time to get off work, Yifan had to accompany his wife to a banquet in the evening. Yifan had to go back to pick up his wife as soon as possible. Chapter 13. I'm not dead yet, and you want to steal my wife? In the black market parking lot, a few old men who had seen Yifan in the black market before, saw Yifan actually get out of Qian Kuei's car, and they all looked at Yifan as if they had seen a ghost. "Little brother, are you still alive? Where is Chen Kuei?" Yifan said calmly, "That old bastard tried to steal my elixir, but I beat him to death with one punch." Beaten to death. The eyes of several people around him changed instantly when they looked at Yifan. They looked at each other with completely incredible expressions. They knew very well what kind of strength Chen Kuei had. He was a master-level warrior, but he was actually killed by this brother with one punch? The brother in front of him doesn't seem to be injured at all. Doesn't that mean that his strength is far superior to Chen Kuei's? "Brother, my name is Zhang Dao." "What's your name, brother?" Several men quickly surrounded him, looking at Yifan with passionate eyes. Yifan's action this time can be regarded as getting rid of harm for the people. The key is that if he can hold on to such a golden thigh, wouldn't he have an extra backer in the future? "Yi Junqian." Yifan responded coldly, then got into another car and called Wang Fugui, "There is a car over here in the black market parking lot. Come over and drive it away, and then deal with it." After hanging up the phone, Yifan drove towards Su Group. At this time, downstairs of the Su Group, a young man wearing gold-rimmed glasses was holding a bouquet of flowers, standing at the door with a smile on his face, as if he was waiting for someone. This guy was none other than Yun Feiyang, who came from the provincial capital and was Su Ishio's college classmate. He had been pursuing Su Ishio for 4 or 5 years, and even after Su Ishio got married, he continued to harass her. Seeing Su Ishio coming out of the office building, Yun Feiyang hurried forward, handed the flowers to Su Ishio with a smile and said, "Ishio, are you finally off work? I've been waiting for you here for a long time. This is for you. Do you like it?" Su Ishio frowned. "Yun Feiyang, what are you doing here? I've told you many times not to send me these things. I'm already married and have a husband. I'm not interested in you." In fact, Su Ishio always rejected Yun Feiyang directly and decisively. But for some reason, Yun Feiyang was like a sticky candy, clinging to Su Ishio and refusing to let go. "Har har. I know. Isn't it that cowardly son-in-law? I heard that after he married you, he idled around every day, didn't go to work, and even went to the club every day. You're with such a rubbish. Ishio, you're wasting yourself too much." Yun Feiyang looked at Su Ishio with a distressed look on his face and continued, "What's wrong with following me? My Yun family is a huge family that dominates the southwest, and I am sincere to you, Ishio. I love my own husband, and I love him myself. Yun Feiyang, if you say that about my husband again, don't blame me for being rude." Su Ishio walked around Yun Feiyang, looked into the distance, waiting for Yifan to come and pick her up. Yun Feiyang stopped Su Ishio, a gloomy look flashed across his brows. "Ishio, would you consider it? Ishio, you also know that the raw materials for the jewelry industry of your Su group are also provided by my Yun family. If we join forces, the Su family will definitely continue to prosper." While speaking, Yun Feiyang stuffed the flowers into Su Ishio's hands, and there was obviously some threat in his words. "Don't think about it." Suddenly a big hand reached out, snatched the flowers from Yun Feiyang's hand, and smashed them to the ground. "Damn it. I'm not dead yet, but you're trying to steal my girlfriend. Are you looking for death?" Hearing this familiar voice, Su Ishio's heart relaxed instantly. "Husband, you're here." Su Ishio smiled and walked forward to hold Yifan's arm, with an intimate look on her face. "This guy has been pestering me for a long time, it's so annoying. Are you that rubbish son-in-law Yifan? A gigolo who lives off women, what's there to be proud of?" Yun Feiyang looked Yifan up and down and had to admit in his heart that Yifan was much more handsome than him. Bang! Yifan did not indulge Yun Feiyang at all. He raised his hand and slapped Yun Feiyang hard on the face. "You keep calling me trash. How can you be so polite? If your parents don't teach you, then daddy will teach you how to behave." Fuck, ouch. Yun Feiyang uttered 3 interjections in a row. He was slapped so hard that his eyes were full of stars. He turned several times before he could barely keep his balance. Half of his face was swollen instantly. "How dare you hit me? Do you know who I am?" As the eldest son of the Yun family, Yun Feiyang was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. No one has ever dared to speak harshly to him since he was a child, let alone beating him. "Damn it. I don't care who you are. If you dare to steal my wife, I will beat you up every time I see you." Yifan was never a low-key person before, but because his master's sect was attacked, he lay in wait for 3 years. Now that his strength has recovered, he has returned to his family. With Beiluo Shaman and the Yi family, the number one family in Dacia. Behind him, why is Yifan still keeping a low profile? Don't mind life or death. Fight if you don't agree. You are vulgar. Yun Feiyan covered his swollen face and looked at Yifan with resentment. How can a piece of trash like you be worthy of Yi Shui? You don't go to work every day. Have you seen my imported BMW? It's worth 1 million. You can't make that much in your lifetime if you become a security guard. And the watch I wear is worth 3 million. Have you seen it? Yun Feiyan didn't dare to attack Yifan with force, so he wanted to crush Yifan with financial resources. Su Yixue smiled faintly beside Yifan, and couldn't help but sigh in her heart. This Yun Feiyan is really asking for trouble. Who is Yifan? The eldest son of the Li family, one of the 4 wealthy families in Yuncheng. Li Dao personally came to please Yifan and gave the Su Group an investment of 3 billion. Although Su Yixue was not very clear about Yifan's true background, she knew that Yifan was definitely not an ordinary person. Honey, if you like luxury cars, I will take you to buy one tomorrow, okay? Su Yixue has used her strategy of pampering her husband to the extreme. As long as her husband needs it, it is right. Yun Feiyan's face turned pale as he watched from the side. He ignored himself but was so doting on a pretty boy. What was so good about Yifan? Boom! Before Yifan could say anything, a black Hummer not far away suddenly accelerated and crashed directly into Yun Feiyan's BMW. The modified Hummer is as strong as a tank. With such an impact, Yun Feiyan's BMW was instantly dented and the entire car was deformed. Idiot! Now that your car can still run, I'll write my last name backwards. Wang Fugui jumped out of the car with an arrogant look on his face and walked towards Yifan quickly. Brother, I've been annoyed by this idiot for a long time. Well done. Yifan couldn't help but give Wang Fugui a thumbs up. Chapter 14. 2 abscesses together make a bigger abscess. B. R. Damn my car. Yun Feiyan saw that his newly bought car was almost scrapped. He howled in pain and rushed towards his car, reaching out to touch the surface of the car. You bunch of robbers. Yun Feiyan looked at Yifan and Wang Fugui and immediately understood that the two were in the same group. My car is worth millions. If you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving here. Yun Feiyan shouted coldly at Wang Fugui and Yifan. At the same time, he waved to a black business car behind him. 6 bodyguards in black suits got out of the car quickly and surrounded Yifan and Su Yixue. Either you pay me or, Yixue, if you accompany me for dinner tonight, I won't ask them to compensate for the car. Bang! What level are you? You're dreaming of having dinner with my sister-in-law. Before Yifan made a move, Wang Fugui took action first. He slapped Yun Feiyan and sent him flying. He then kept moving forward and kicking Yun Feiyan hard. The other bodyguards wanted to attack Wang Fugui, but although Wang Fugui was a fat man, he was very agile. With his fists as big as a palm leaf fan, he knocked the bodyguards to the ground with just 2 or 3 punches. Seeing this scene, Yifan's eyes flashed. Fatty, you actually know Kung Fu. Why didn't I know this before? Wang Fugui said with a sly smile. Brother, I didn't expect that your grandfather and my grandfather were actually old friends for many years. Brother turned out to be the mysterious eldest son of the Yi family. If I had known earlier, I should have come to lick brother earlier. Wang Fugui's smirk made Yifan feel helpless. Get lost. I have to accompany Yixue to a banquet tonight. You take care of this. Okay. When Yifan took Su Yixue away, Wang Fugui's arrogant voice came from behind. Do you know who my eldest brother is? The eldest son of the Yi family, the first family in Dacia. How dare you mess with my eldest brother? I will destroy him directly. Don't forget, this is Yuncheng. In the car, Su Yixue looked at Wang Fugui's figure in the rearview mirror and said with some concern, Husband, is this really okay? The Yun family has a great influence in the southwest region. If this happens, what if they want to retaliate? Revenge? With Yifan's current strength, is he still afraid of revenge from a small Yun family? Let us not talk about the power of Beiluo Shaman, just the Yi family, even though it is now in decline, is still not someone the Yun family dares to provoke. Don't worry, honey. Even if the sky falls, I have my husband to hold it up. Nothing will happen to me. Yifan smiled faintly. Let's go back and change our clothes first, and then go to the banquet with peace of mind. You have protected your husband for 3 years. From today on, it's your husband's turn to protect you. Yifan looked at Su Yixue in front of him with deep affection. He really liked this wife. After marrying into the Su family for 3 years, Su Ishue has never been cold towards Yifan and has almost pampered him as always. Downstairs at the Su group, Yun Feiyang was severely beaten up again by Wang Fugui. His face was beaten like a pig's head and he was kicked several times in the crotch. Looking at the direction of Wang Fugui and Yifan who were leaving, Yun Feiyang muttered gloomily, "You two bastards, just wait for me." When he thought of Su Ishue, Yun Feiyang's eyes were burning again. Damn it. Su Ishue, you stinky bitch, if it weren't for the power behind your mother, I wouldn't be so humble to beg you. Wait until I get you to bed, and I'll kill you. After a slight hesitation, Yun Feiyang made a phone call. Hello. Mr. Lin, are you going to the business banquet tonight? I heard there are many beauties there. What, you were beaten? Who beat you up? It's Yifan again, damn that bastard. It seems that he will also accompany Su Ishue to the banquet. Today is your home court, you must not let him have an easy time. Two brothers in distress, the first thing they did when they answered the phone was a complaint. The person on the other end of the phone was none other than Lin Dong, who was beaten up by Yifan at Yi's house. Humph. Doesn't this Yifan rely on the Yi family? Anyway, the Yi family is going to be finished tonight, and you dare to come to the banquet. Then I will make sure you never come back. This business banquet was initiated by the Lin family of Yuncheng. The theme was to unite the business tycoons in the Southwest region to jointly create a good business environment in the Southwest region. But in fact, it is just business promotion and providing a platform for big guys to contact each other. At 7 o'clock in the evening, Yifan and Su Ishue appeared at the door of the Lin family banquet hall on time. As soon as he entered the door, he saw Lin Dong, Yun Feiyang, and several other young masters waiting at the door. Har har. Isn't this the eldest master of the Yi family? Almost all the people in the Yi family are dead. Is young Master Yi preparing to come back to get everything ready so that they can set off together? The one who spoke was Lin Dong. His masculinity was destroyed by Yifan at the Yi family. Now when Lin Dong saw Shen Yufei, he felt almost nothing. When Lin Dong thought about his uncle planning to use Teddy's toothpick to connect it to himself, he felt as uncomfortable as if he had eaten a fly. Damn it. After having Teddy, will my son be his in the future or my own? Seeing the two pig heads Lin Dong and Yun Feiyang, Yifan couldn't help but curl his lips. What? Didn't you get beaten enough before? Do you think two pustules added together can be bigger than two pustules? In my opinion, the two pustules added together are just a bigger pustule. There was a slight fluctuation in Yifan's martial arts energy, which made Lin Dong and Yun Feiyang tremble and retreat 2 steps backward. Now Yun Feiyang also knows Yifan's identity. Didn't he expect that Yifan is the eldest son of the Yi family, the number 1 family in Dacia? This is a bit difficult to deal with. Forget it, Mr. Lin, let's be patient for now. We have other plans later. Yun Feiyang dissuaded Lin Dong. Lin Dong then forced himself to suppress his anger, let Yifan in, then turned around and took 2 glasses of champagne from the waiter behind him and handed one to Yifan. Then he took a deep breath and said to Yifan with a smile, "Young Master Yi, I was impulsive at the Yi family before and caused some misunderstandings. This glass of wine is my apology to you. Can you drink it, young Master Yi?" Yifan took the wine glass, just glanced at it lightly, and couldn't help but sneer in his heart. You bunch of rubbish are trying to play this trick on me? Yifan was born with magic eyes, which allow him to see many things that ordinary people cannot see. But there was something problematic in the glass of wine that Lin Dong handed to Yifan. Yifan just identified that there was thick phlegm from at least 5 people in this glass of champagne. Lin Dong lost face in the Yi family, and he actually wanted to regain it in this way. Yifan glanced at Lin Dong and immediately had an idea in his mind. But at this moment, a beautiful figure quickly flashed over and shouted at Yifan, "Yifan, you can't drink that glass of wine." When Yifan looked up, he was stunned, because the girl in front of him was none other than Shen Yufei, who was looking for him to break off the engagement. At this moment, Shen Yufei, wearing a black evening dress, her white shoulders sparkled under the lights, her slender figure, and noble temperament, were about to become the focus of the whole audience. Didn't this girl ask me to break off the engagement? Suddenly I reminded myself, what does this mean? Chapter 15, Failed to show off and got X. The reason why Shen Yufei reminded Yifan was naturally because she had discovered some tricks before. Before Yifan arrived, Shen Yufei discovered that Lin Dong, Yun Feiyang and several other young masters gathered together sneakily, then held a cup and secretly spit into it. At that time, Shen Yufei didn't know what Lin Dong wanted to do, But when Shen Yufei found out that Lin Dong wanted to invite Yifan to drink, Shen Yufei finally understood. Lin Dong wanted to take revenge on Yifan by making him drink the glass of wine that contained their phlegm. It's not very harmful, but it's extremely insulting. Shen Yufei didn't know why, but when she saw Lin Dong trying to frame Yifan, she took the initiative to stand up and wanted to remind Yifan. Logically speaking, since Yifan divorced her directly, Shen Yufei should have hated Yifan very much. However, Shen Yufei found that she could not hate him at all. Instead, she was particularly curious about Yifan. Even Shen Yufei regretted following her second uncle to cancel the engagement. Yufei, what are you doing? Lin Dong saw Shen Yufei suddenly stand out. His eyes were a little flustered and puzzled. Because under the arrangement of the two major families, the Shen family and the Lin family, in addition to the normal business banquet tonight, there is also an important program, which is to confirm the engagement ceremony of the Lin family and the Shen family. In other words, from tonight onwards, Shen Yufei will become Lin Dong's fiancée. Even if Shen Yufei finds out something, she should stand on his side, right? What I do has nothing to do with you. Shen Yufei didn't have any good feelings towards Lin Dong. The reason why she agreed to cancel the engagement with the Yi family was simply because she didn't want her fate to be arranged. Shen Yufei knew that she had no say in the marriage of a big family. So under the arrangement of the family, Shen Yufei reluctantly agreed to attend today's banquet. Shen Yufei had been calm, but the moment she saw Yifan, she found herself becoming agitated again. Anyway, this glass of wine cannot be drunk. While speaking, Shen Yufei reached out to take the wine glass from Yifan's hand, and then pour out the champagne inside. However, when Shen Yufei took it, Yifan held the wine glass and did not let go. Instead, he looked at Shen Yufei with interest and said, "My former wife, it seems that you are still interesting." Yifan looked Shen Yufei up and down and said, "If you were not so anxious to break off the engagement, maybe this melon would be very sweet." Yifan blinked at Shen Yufei and whispered in her ear, "I appreciate your kindness. Don't worry, I know my limits." A stream of hot air blew into Shen Yufei's ears, making her feel hot in her heart and her face blush. Does this guy know? Shen Yufei was still confused, but Yifan had already started to act. Yifan took a step forward with a glass of wine in hand, stretched out his hand to hook Lin Dong's neck and said, "Mr. Lin is really generous. Even though I kicked his balls and broke them, he is still so considerate and willing to reconcile with me. Just for this generosity, we must have a drink." Every word Yifan said pierced Lin Dong's wounds, but Lin Dong was still happy when he heard Yifan's last sentence. No matter what, as long as Yifan drinks this glass of wine, the hatred in Lin Dong's heart will be reduced by 80%. Yes, yes, yes. Lin Dong held up the wine glass, clinked it with Yifan, and looked at Yifan with anticipation. As long as Yifan drinks this glass of champagne, Lin Dong will tell him the truth. But what Lin Dong never expected was that the moment he opened his mouth, Yifan suddenly picked up the wine glass and raised his hand. He poured the glass of champagne in Yifan's hand into Lin Dong's mouth. Lin Dong's mouth was wide open, and he hadn't reacted to what was happening yet. Yifan considerately patted Lin Dong on the chest to help the glass of champagne slide into Lin Dong's stomach. "Mr. Lin, let's drink up. Our previous grudges are now wiped out." While Yifan was speaking, he drank the clean glass of wine in Lin Dong's hand and deliberately turned the glass over to show it. "Oh shit." After 2 seconds, Lin Dong finally reacted. "What did you just do?" That bastard Yifan actually fed the glass of champagne with thick phlegm into his own mouth. The glass of champagne that he had just drunk contained the thick phlegm that had been spat out by himself, Yun Feiyang, and several other young masters. Damn it. No wonder I just tasted spicy, garlic, and chives in the drink. Yun Feiyang said that he had just eaten hot pot at noon. Vomit. Lin Dong instantly felt like he was going to explode. "Fuck you, I'm sick." Lin Dong was going crazy. He covered his mouth and rushed to the bathroom frantically. "In my bathroom," Lin Dong vomited violently, almost vomiting out everything he had 3 days ago. At the end of vomiting, it all appeared as black strips, which should have come out from another mouth. Lin Dong felt so disgusted that he wanted to turn his stomach inside out and clean it with a high-pressure water tap. "Yifan, you bastard, I'm not done with you." Lin Dong realized at this moment that Yifan had actually discovered the clues in the wine glass a long time ago. All his obedience was just a prelude, and at the last critical moment, he would trick him. In the banquet hall, watching Lin Dong leave in embarrassment, a faint smile appeared on Shen Yufei's lips. "This Yifan is so bad. So you knew it long ago, and you still made me worry so much. Humph. Shen Yufei rarely made a coquettish sound in front of Yi Fan. She looked like a girlfriend acting coquettishly in front of her boyfriend. Yi Fan's heart skipped a beat. This Shen Yufei had already broken off the engagement with him. Could it be that she had fallen in love with him? I have to control my damn charm. The key point is that his legal wife Su Yishu is right next to him. Yi Fan glanced to the side and saw Su Yishue, who was wearing a purple long dress. She was also elegant and graceful, with extraordinary temperament, tall and slim figure. Put them together, both are 100-point beauties, the most dazzling in the whole venue. It's hard to tell who is better. Hello, I am Su Yishue, Yi Fan's wife. Su Yishue spoke first and elegantly extended her hand to Shen Yufei. When Shen Yufei heard Su Yishue's introduction, she suddenly felt a pain in her heart. Yi Fan's wife? If I don't do it, then I am Yi Fan's wife, right? Hello. Shen Yufei is the fiancé of the Yi and Shen families who has been engaged for many years. Shen Yufei obviously did not want to be at a disadvantage in the confrontation, so she only told half of the truth. She is indeed the fiancé chosen by the Yi and Shen families, but the problem is that you must have broken off the engagement in the afternoon. Miss Shen, Yi Fan wanted to explain a few words. He didn't want his wife Su Yishu to misunderstand. But Shen Yufei didn't give Yi Fan a chance to explain. Miss Su, I want to invite Master Yi to dance with me later. Miss Su won't mind, right? Oh shit. Yi Fan felt the strong smell of gunpowder in the air. Has the war begun? Chapter 16 Husband, you are so bad. Of course I don't mind. It's okay for men to change their tastes occasionally. Of course I support that. It's not my husband who suffers anyway. Su Yishue still had a smile on her face, but the provocation in her words was no less. Yi Fan was shocked and thought to himself, wife, you have to reject her. This Shen Yufei, she had clearly already broken off the engagement with me, but now she suddenly came to invite me to dance. She must have been attracted by my beauty. Hee. Miss Su is really good at joking, but I still understand the order of first come first served, so I'll see you later. While speaking, Shen Yufei threw a coquettish glance at Yi Fan, then turned around and left gracefully. First come first served order. Yi Fan naturally understood the meaning of these words. This was to wake up Su Yishu. When it comes to the relationship with Yi Fan, he, Shen Yufei, was the first. It was because Shen Yufei and Yi Fan failed that Su Yishu had the chance. Yi Fan is now a man standing at the top of the world, but he suddenly found that facing two women was more difficult than facing a martial arts master. How is this my style, Master Yi? Snort. It seems that next time these girls behave like this in front of me again, they will be spanked. Wife, this Shen Yufei was the marriage partner arranged by my family, but because I haven't been back for many years, I broke off the engagement. Yi Fan wanted to explain, but Su Yishue raised her head and kissed him on the lips. Hubby. You don't have to explain to me. I only have you in my heart. I can bear everything for you. Think about it, I can even accept you picking up girls in the club, so why would I be afraid of one more? While speaking, Su Yishue twisted her body coquettishly in Yi Fan's arms. Husband, how about a combination of time, place and people tonight? Looking at Su Yishue's shy appearance, Yi Fan thought that he had completely broken through the dragon controlling technique and could indeed combine it with others. Okay. I calculated with my fingers that tonight is destined to be a sleepless night. By the way, I saw a new posture yesterday. You can learn it. Yi Fan hooked Su Yishue's slender waist. A burning look emerged in his eyes, which made Su Yishu blush. Husband. You are so bad. Seeing his wife like this, Yi Fan sighed helplessly. Junior sister. I still love you. It's just that I can't refuse such a kind invitation. Yi Fan also forgot which expert said that treasure is treasure, baby is baby, dear is dear, and sweetheart is sweetheart. How can we let down the true love in life? Dear guests, welcome to the banquet hosted by our Lin family. This is a testament to our Lin family's importance. Today we have only one goal, to eat well, drink well, and have fun. We will also have mysterious surprise activities later, so please look forward to it. The banquet officially began, and the person who came on stage to host the banquet was Lin Hua, the head of the Lin family. This middle-aged man was very good at dealing with people. What he said made everyone feel comfortable and they felt that they were being greatly valued. But Yi Fan stared at Lin Hua, thinking in his head how to kill him. Because the information Yi Fan learned from Qian Kuei, his grandfather and others was that the attack on the Yi family that year was related to the Lin family. Then, there is no need for any evidence to take action against the Lin family. As long as I know that your Lin family has taken action, then destroy it. Now, our first activity is free dance. Everyone can freely invite a dance partner and dance as they please. It was said that they were dancing casually, but after the lights were turned on, the spotlight in the room instantly shone on one person, none other than Lin Dong. Lin Dong had just vomited in the toilet for nearly half an hour, so his face was a little pale. Especially his crotch, which was still wrapped in gauze after being beaten up by Yifan yesterday, looked bulging and particularly bloated. But Lin Dong also knew that today's event was very important to both the Lin family and the Shen family. Let me introduce you to this person. He is an elite from the third generation of my Lin family. His name is Lin Dong. Although he is very young, he has already taken charge of 2 listed companies. Last year, his profits amounted to tens of billions. Lin Hua was holding a microphone and introducing Lin Dong's situation. It was obvious that he was building momentum for Lin Dong. In the third generation, the Lin family plans to officially promote Lin Dong. If nothing unexpected happens, Lin Dong will take over the entire Lin family in the future. Dear Miss Shen Yufei, can I invite you to dance with me? Lin Dong elegantly invited Shen Yufei, who was sitting on the chair next to him. This beautiful lady is Shen Yufei, the daughter of the Shen family. She is well known on the list of beauties in Daxia. I believe everyone knows her. Miss Shen and my Lin Dong have known each other for many years. They are very good friends. It is not an exaggeration to say that they are childhood sweethearts. Let us all wish them the best. When Lin Hua was introducing, the spotlight in the hall shone towards another table. Over there, several high-ranking members of the Shen family were also present, including Shen Jinghua, the head of the Shen family, and several other high-ranking members of the Shen family. Seeing the spotlight coming over, Shen Jinghua waved to everyone. Kindness? This meaning is worth exploring. It would have been fine if Lin Hua introduced Lin Dong in front of so many people, but he also introduced the relationship between Lin Dong and Shen Yufei. The key point was that the top leaders of the Shen family not only attended today's banquet, but also did not object. Doesn't this mean that the Shen family wants to form an alliance with the Lin family? As 2 of the 6 wealthy families in Daxia, the Shen family and the Lin family, if they unite, it will have a huge impact on the entire situation in Daxia. As the number 1 family in Daxia, the Yi family is probably no longer in a position to maintain its status following the attack 3 years ago, right? Shen Yufei sat in the chair. Facing Lin Dong's invitation, the expression on her face changed rapidly, but she didn't say a word. Lin Dong was anxious. Miss Shen, are you willing? This is the script that was rehearsed tonight. Lin Dong and Shen Yufei dancing together is a debut show and also a foreshadowing for their engagement later. At the critical moment, Shen Yufei actually hesitated. Lin Dong couldn't help but look in the direction where Yifan was. Damn it, could Shen Yufei still reject him because of Yifan? I don't want to. With so many people watching, Shen Yufei actually rejected Lin Dong directly and walked quickly in the direction of Yifan. I have already made an appointment with someone, the eldest son of the Yi family, Yifan. Shen Yufei walked to Yifan, grabbed his arm without saying anything, and pulled him up. Kindness? Such a scene shocked everyone present. What's going on? In fact, everyone knows the arrangements of these wealthy families. Since they started to make such announcements, weren't they all arranged? Everyone thought that the marriage between the Lin family and the Shen family was a foregone conclusion, but Shen Yufei suddenly rejected Lin Dong's invitation and raised another man's hand. What does this mean? Slap in the face. What a slap in the face. Chapter 17. The Yi family is going to produce a dragon. Swish. Everyone's eyes were focused on Shen Yufei, and also on Lin Hua and Lin Dong. They were all very curious about how Lin Dong and Lin Hua would deal with this matter next. Lin Hua's face instantly turned gloomy. He held the microphone in his hand and wanted to speak several times, but he didn't know how to say it. What does he say about this? It was clearly arranged that the 2 young people would hold their engagement ceremony tonight, but the girl ended up running off with another man, a man from the Yi family who had a life and death feud with the Lin family. Shen Yufei, what are you doing? Didn't we agree on this? Why are you suddenly looking for this trash? Lin Dong walked quickly towards where Yifan and Shen Yufei were. He instinctively wanted to scold Yifan, but when he thought of Yifan's arrogant methods, he took back the rest of his words. Who told you that? It was your Lin family who had been talking all along. Did I, Xian Yufei, agree? Even my second uncle didn't completely agree with your Lin family's plan, right? Humph. Xian Yufei took Yifan's arm and continued to say to Lin Dorn, besides, Yifan and I already have an engagement. Please move aside and don't block us from dancing. Yifan smiled faintly. Originally, Yifan didn't want to pay attention to Xian Yufei's invitation, but as long as it could make the Lin family unhappy, Yifan would be very interested. Yufei is right. Even if I don't want Yufei as my wife, it's not your turn to lick her, get out of here. Without any hesitation, Yifan kicked Lin Dorn away. Yifan's voice was not loud, but at this moment, the scene was silent and most people could hear Yifan's words clearly. What? The Xian family and the Yi family already have an engagement. That's right. But the eldest son of the Yi family is said to have been practicing martial arts outside and has not returned. Now, could this Yifan be the eldest son of the Yi family? It seems that it is likely. The attack by the Yi family back then caused great trauma to the Yi family. Now that the eldest son of the Yi family has returned, does it mean that he is going to rise again? But I heard that Yifan has already married into the Su family, and now there's Xian Yufei, which is quite interesting. Everyone was talking at once, and the atmosphere was a little weird. Lin Hua looked at the reactions of the guests below and turned his gaze to Xian Jinghua, wanting to see Xian Jinghua's attitude. But at this time, Xian Jinghua was watching the confrontation between Yifan and Lin Dorn with great interest. In fact, when Xian Jinghua broke off the engagement with the Yi family today and found out that the eldest son of the Yi family was hiding in Yuncheng, he realized that something was wrong. The Yi family had been attacked 3 years ago and should have fallen from its position as the number one family, but they had persisted for such a long time. Recently, another master wanted to take action against the Yi family, and Yifan made a high-profile return at this time. Yifan must have his own trump card. When talking with Xian Yufei before, the two were considering whether the action of cancelling the engagement today was correct. Patriarch. There's news from the Yi family. According to the news from the black market, the master who was about to attack the Yi family was killed by a young man named Yi Zhentian. Kindness? The master was killed. Xian Jinghua's eyebrows twitched twice. In fact, everyone knew very well who the masters were in Yuncheng. If one wants to kill a master without making any noise, then one's strength must be completely superior to that of the master. A young man killed Qian Kuei at this critical moment. And, his last name is Yi? Xian Jinghua looked at Yifan with a complicated expression. If this kid from the Yi family is really you, then the Yi family is going to produce a dragon. Did my Xian family do something wrong this time? I hope we are not too far off. After learning the news, Xian Jinghua ignored Lin Hua's gaze. The meaning was very clear, he had no intention of stopping Xian Yufei's actions. Naturally, the Lin family will be the only one to bear the consequences of your shame. Har har. It's normal for young people to have their own ideas. Come on, everyone, jump up. We still have to continue with our mysterious activity. While Lin Hua was speaking, his eyes couldn't help but look towards Xian Jinghua. The marriage between the Lin family and the Xian family is the result of discussions between the top leaders of both sides. It is impossible to cancel it just because of the dancing incident, right? In the dance floor, Yifan put his arms around Xian Yufei's slender waist and started dancing to the rhythm of the music. Ex-wife, what's wrong with you? Didn't you arrange an activity for tonight? Why did you suddenly change your mind and don't plan to marry that idiot? Yifan looked at Xian Yufei with a smile. Xian Yufei's expression dimmed for a moment, and she looked at Yifan with a confused look in her eyes. Yifan, do you think I am fickle? I don't actually like Lin Dorn, I just don't want to follow the family's arrangement and marry a man I have never met. But after meeting you, I found. What did you find out about me? Am I too handsome? Then you fell deeply in love with me and couldn't extricate yourself, and then you wanted to marry me? You didn't hesitate to offend the Lin family. Yifan looked at Xian Yufei in front of him, with a slight smile on his face. The daughters of these big families are not only good-looking, but their IQs are also beyond the reach of ordinary people. Xian Yufei must have made such a decision after careful consideration, and the top management of the Xian family did not step forward to stop it. This is the proof. This means that the attitude of the Xian family's top management is very subtle, and they have not completely sided with the Lin family. It is precisely because of this that Yifan feels a little better about Xian Yufei. Shameless. Xian Yufei uttered coquettishly and twisted in Yifan's arms. When she looked at Yifan again, she found that Yifan was actually very handsome. He was born with a pair of peach blossom eyes. There seemed to be a hook in his eyes that could hook people's souls away. Am I really in love with Yifan? Shen Yufei was shocked by the thought in her mind. How is that possible? I went to him in person to cancel the engagement, and that guy even wrote a big divorce on his face. There is no connection between me and Yifan anymore, and it is basically impossible for us to be together again. As the two danced to the music, Lin Hua angrily found Xian Jinghua in the guest seat and said, "Brother Xian, what's going on? How could Xian Yufei suddenly change her mind about the arrangements? Isn't this a slap in the face of our Lin family?" On the surface, it was Xian Yufei who refused, but in fact it represented the attitude of the Xian family. As the head of such a huge family, Xian Jinghua was naturally not an easy person to deal with. He evaded the main point and said, "Master Lin, there is something you may not know yet. The master who was going to massacre the Yi family tonight has been killed." What? Hearing this news, Lin Hua's reaction was somewhat extraordinary. That Grandmaster is dead. How come I didn't know about it? Lin Hua greeted Xian Jinghua and did not bother to continue talking to him. He quickly left the hall and went back to the backstage room to make a phone call. After learning the news, Lin Hua frowned. Yi Juntian? Where did this bastard come from? The Yi family escaped disaster again. Things are a bit troublesome. Xian Jinghua, that old fox. Humph. Now that you're here today, it won't be so easy for you to get off the boat. Chapter 18, One Dragon and Two Phoenixes Dancing Together, Stunning the Audience. In the hall, Yifan and Xian Yufei were dancing. Seeing Su Yishue sitting on the chair with a lost expression on her face, Yifan suddenly felt a little bit reluctant. But it doesn't seem appropriate to let go of Xian Yufei at this time. Thinking of this, Yifan said to Xian Yufei beside him, "Miss Xian, I suddenly have an idea. How about we do a three-person dance?" R. Before Xian Yufei could react, Yifan hugged Xian Yufei and flashed to Su Yishue's side, "Dear wife, can I invite you to dance with me?" Kindness? Su Yishue was stunned at first, but when she saw Yifan's sincere eyes, she agreed decisively without any hesitation, "Okay." Su Yishue really dotes on Yifan. Even when he picks up girls, Su Yishue takes the initiative to give him money. So what's dancing? Then, everyone saw a stunning scene. In the middle of the huge dance floor, Yifan hugged the two most dazzling beauties in the audience in his arms. Dance to the music. Sometimes it is like flowers scattering from the sky, sometimes it is like flowers competing for spring, and sometimes it is like the blooming of youth. Stunning. Stunning is not enough to describe it. All eyes were attracted to Yifan, Su Yishue and Xian Yufei. There were originally a few people dancing on the dance floor, but at this moment they all gave up their space to Yifan, Xian Yufei, and Su Yishue. Because, no matter how gracefully everyone else dances, they pale in comparison to Yifan and the other two. Everyone was immersed in this wonderful atmosphere, as if they felt that the three of them were supposed to be this way, as if it was natural. Outside the crowd, a familiar figure quickly walked into their hall. It was Su Yishue's cousin Su Dong. When he saw Yun Feiyang and Lin Dong, Su Dong quickly said, "Mr. Yun, I finally found you. How's it going? Did you capture my sister?" At this time, Yun Feiyang's nose and face were swollen, and he was angry at the situation. Hearing Su Dong's words, he kicked Su Dong on the butt in anger. "Are you blind?" When Su Dong looked at the field, he saw that Yifan was not only hugging Su Yishue, but also Yincheng's most beautiful woman Xian Yufei. He immediately shouted in surprise, "Fuck! Awesome! Kindness?" When Lin Dong and Yun Feiyang heard Su Dong's words, they immediately stared at Su Dong with angry eyes, scaring Su Dong so much that he shrank his neck and smiled awkwardly. "Take off!" In the field, when the music was about to end, Yifan shouted softly, and suddenly hugged Su Yishue and Xian Yufei on both sides, and threw them both high up at the same time. Then, Yifan spread his arms, stood on one leg, and looked like a golden rooster standing on one leg. The two beauties, Su Yishue and Xian Yufei, landed steadily in Yifan's left and right palms. Yifan grabbed their ankles, making their bodies as steady as a rock in the air. It looks like a pair of phoenixes spreading their wings, and also like a fairy from Yao Tai. The three of them formed an extremely harmonious picture, frozen on the last beat of the music. Good. Good dance. It's so great, I seem to be brought into a dream. So beautiful, a talented man and a beautiful woman. They are a perfect match. Is this considered two couples or what? All the guests at the scene were excited and started roaring and cheering, their palms almost turned red from clapping. Lin Dong stood outside the crowd and angrily smashed the cup in his hand to the ground. Damn. Yifan, this beast, why doesn't he just die? Damn it. Today is clearly my home court. And Yifan actually became the protagonist, not only stunning everyone, but Xian Yufei even danced with Yifan together with Su Yishuo. While everyone's eyes were focused on him, Yifan held up the two beauties and glanced at all the guests present, saying, "Everyone, let me introduce myself. I am Yifan, the fourth generation and only eldest son of the Yi family, the first family in Daxia. Now I am back. I have a bad temper. If anyone has bullied my family before, you'd better take the initiative to admit your mistakes. Otherwise, when I come to your door, I will use a bulldozer to flatten your family." Domineering. Mighty. Yifan's words made everyone present stunned. Yi family? Which Yi family? Damn it. Is it the Yi family, the first family of Daxia? Wasn't it said that the mysterious eldest son of the fourth generation of the Yi family died in the attack 3 years ago? Why did he return in such a high profile now? No wonder this boy is so bold and courageous. It turns out he is the eldest son of the Yi family. Everyone present remembered Yifan's name at this moment. At this moment, the two beauties standing on Yifan's arms were about to jump out of their chests. This bad guy is being so extremely romantic, how can anyone bear it? After confirming through eye contact, I know that as the person my heart is attracted to. Su Yishuo and Xian Yufei looked at Yifan below almost at the same time, then retracted their gazes at the same time, looked at each other, and pretended nothing had happened. After Yifan put the two beauties down, Su Yishuo threw herself into Yifan's arms tenderly. "Hubby. You're so great, I love you so much." Xian Yufei beside him did not let go of Yifan's arm. "Humph. He used to be my husband." Yifan smiled faintly. "Miss Xian, goodbye. Just this morning, didn't you come to my house angrily to break off the engagement? Now we have nothing to do with each other. Isn't it okay for me to regret it? Don't you know that women are fickle?" Xian Yufei pouted a little aggrievedly, looking pitiful. But Yifan ignored Xian Yufei, but hugged Su Yishuo and walked towards his seat. Xian Yufei looked at Yifan's back as he left. A sly smile appeared on her lips. "Humph. You damn bad guy, you want to leave after teasing me? I will definitely keep you company for the rest of my life." The change in Xian Yufei's thinking destined the Lin family's subsequent activities to be a huge joke. However, Lin Hua and Lin Dong still had illusions, thinking that Xian Yufei would not ignore the face of the Lin and Xian families when it came to major issues. They also want to continue to push forward the engagement ceremony between the Lin family and the Xian family, and want to forcibly tie the Xian family and the Lin family together. Lin Hua and Xian Jinghua exchanged glances, and after everyone calmed down, they continued to hold the microphone and said, "Ms. Xian is indeed a good dancer. Thank you, Mr. Yi, for cooperating with the performance. There is another good thing for Ms. Xian tonight. That is, our two major families, the Lin family and the Xian family, have jointly decided to hold an engagement ceremony for Lin Dong and Miss Xian Yufei. What do you think?" Everyone was a little slow to react, and no guest responded to Lin Hua. Lin Hua was so embarrassed on the stage that his toes almost dug out of the 3-bedroom apartment. Good. After several veteran bootlickers of the Lin family understood, they hurriedly cheered, and the scene began to become a little more lively. But most of the guests were hesitant. Just now, Xian Yufei had refused Lin Dong to dance, and the Lin family still wanted them to get engaged. Were they crazy? Chapter 19 Sister Yishuo, you wouldn't mind Yifan having another wife, right? Now please invite Lin Dong and Miss Xian Yufei to the stage. Lin Hua didn't care whether it was embarrassing or not, and pushed the process forward forcefully. Anyway, I wasn't embarrassed, it was others who were embarrassed. Lin Dong came up, but Xian Yufei sat on the chair and had no intention of moving. "Yufei, what's wrong?" Xian Jinghua, the second uncle, asked Xian Yufei. In fact, Xian Jinghua knew what Xian Yufei meant, but under the circumstances at this time, Xian Jinghua could not show his attitude too obviously. Although the Yi family is not dead for the time being, no one can guarantee what problems the Yi family will encounter in the future. Besides, there is a mysterious force supporting the Lin family. The Xian family is now caught in the middle, and it is not easy to offend either side. "Second uncle, I don't want to get married." Xian Yufei expressed her inner thoughts with a serious face. "If you don't want to get married, then follow your heart." Xian Jinghua glanced in the direction of Yifan while speaking. "Today's situation, neither you nor your second uncle can break it. With these words, Shen Jinghua actually made his meaning very clear. Since the Shen family is unable to break the impasse, the only one who dares to confront the Lin family is Yifan. I understand, thank you, second uncle. Shen Yufei smiled and walked quickly towards Yifan. Yifan had just stuffed a piece of mango into his mouth when he saw Shen Yufei coming over again. He couldn't help but feel a little headache. Wife, I think the banquet is boring. Do you want us to go home? For Yifan, whether Shen Yufei and Lin Dong are engaged or not has no impact on Yifan. Because after 2 days, when the people under Beiluo Shaman arrived, Yifan planned to directly flatten the Lin family. But Shen Yufei's eyes when she looked at Yifan at this time were full of different feelings. She came to Yifan, naturally to ask Yifan for help. Yifan, I don't want to get married, you. Before Shen Yufei could speak, Yifan interrupted her directly, forget about asking me for help. If you help me again, I'm afraid you will really fall in love with me. I thought Shen Yufei would give up after I confronted her like this, but I didn't expect Shen Yufei to not avoid it at all. What's wrong with falling in love with you? Is it not okay if I am happy? Sister Ishue, you don't mind Yifan having another wife, do you? While speaking, Shen Yufei looked at Su Ishue for help. Su Ishue naturally also saw the situation today. The Lin family wanted to force Shen Yufei and Lin Dong to have an engagement ceremony, but Shen Yufei didn't want to get married and she had no choice. It seemed that the only one who broke the deadlock now was her husband Yifan. But judging from Yifan's expression, he had no intention of helping Shen Yufei. Although Su Ishue wanted Yifan to help Shen Yufei, she respected Yifan's opinion more. Miss Shen, I listen to my husband. As long as he is willing, I don't mind having 10 wives, let alone 1. I can even serve them during the confinement period. Cough cough. Yifan, who was listening nearby, was so shocked that he thought to himself, fuck. Isn't he my precious wife too fierce? It's bad enough that he was paid to go out and pick up girls, but is actually so open-minded. It seems that I am blessed. Seeing Shen Yufei looking at him eagerly, Yifan was thinking about how to deal with this matter. On the podium, Lin Dong, who could no longer wait, saw Shen Yufei walking towards Yifan again and could not bear it any longer. He rushed over quickly, looked at Yifan with resentment and said, Yifan, I won't bother with you about other things, but today is the important day of my engagement. If you dare to make trouble, my Lin family will never stop fighting with you. Yifan rolled his eyes and thought to himself, the Lin family participated in the attack on the Yi family back then. If you don't fight me to the death, I will fight you, the Lin family, to the death. Mr. Lin, you're joking. Today is your big day. I should have a drink with you to celebrate. Har har, it would be best if the wine has flavor, something sour and spicy, or hot pot flavor, Mr. Lin, don't you think so? Some of the others didn't understand what Yifan was saying, but Lin Dong knew that Yifan swallowed his phlegm before mocking him. Vomit. Hearing Yifan bring up that matter again, Lin Dong felt nauseous and almost vomited. Yifan, don't go too far. Don't think that my Lin family is afraid of you. We were not afraid of you before, and we are even less afraid of you now. If you make me mad, I will just let you. Lin Dong stopped talking halfway. Lin Dong was very smart and knew that it was not a wise choice to get entangled with Yifan at this time, so he turned his gaze to Shen Jinghua who was sitting not far away and said, Second uncle, look, I have come down to invite Yufei, how about you open the door and let Yufei go up and complete the ceremony first? Lin Dong is taking advantage of the situation, using the Lin family's power to suppress Shen Jinghua, and using Shen Jinghua's power to suppress Shen Yufei. He also wants to use so many people at the scene to suppress the Shen family, so that the Shen family will worry about their face and urge Shen Yufei to come on stage. But Lin Dong had no idea that Shen Jinghua's attitude was actually very clear before. How could he be led by Lin Dong? Mr. Lin, an old man like me won't interfere in your affairs. It is said that Mr. Lin is also a master at coaxing girls. If he can't even coax Yufei, the ancient said, if you can't clean up your own house, how can you clean up the world? In the future, the Lin family will not dare to hand over such a large industry to Mr. Lin, right? It's just picking up girls, how does it have something to do with family management? Lin Dong's face turned green. This old guy Shen Jinghua was putting him on the fire. It seemed that if he couldn't deal with Shen Yufei today, he would be trash. It's all because of Yifan. If Yifan wasn't present, wouldn't Shen Yufei have already let himself be manipulated? Thinking of this, Lin Dong planned to ask the bodyguards to come and drive Yifan out. But before Lin Dong made a move, Xian Jinghua spoke again. However, I do have a suggestion. No matter how much you quarrel or make a scene, it would still be indecent to make physical contact in front of so many people. Lin Dong was speechless. This old guy, was he deliberately targeting him? But Lin Dong didn't notice that when Xian Jinghua said this, his eyes were fixed on Yi Fan. Yi Fan Gang had not intended to care about Xian Yufei's affairs, but seeing Lin Dong's expression, Yi Fan decided not to let him off easily. For Yi Fan, his martial arts value was basically invincible, and he could easily solve the problem by punching Lin Dong away. But obviously, this is not the best solution. Seeing the look in Xian Jinghua's eyes and the words he said, Yi Fan looked up at the huge chandelier above his head and instantly had an idea in his mind. The Xian family cannot stop the engagement from going ahead at the moment. As long as Xian Yufei doesn't agree, the result cannot be changed. But if. What I mean is, if Lin Dong was suddenly knocked unconscious by a falling chandelier, then what would be the point of the engagement ceremony? Besides, Lin Dong was knocked unconscious by the chandelier, it has nothing to do with me. Kindness. That's it. But Lin Dong had no idea that he was going to be in trouble again. Seeing that he could not get any help from Xian Jinghua, he turned his attention to Xian Yufei again. Yufei, so many guests are watching. If something funny happens today, it will not only be the face of my Lin family that will be lost. Xian Yufei looked at Yi Fan expectantly, but Yi Fan raised his head high at this time, as if staring at the chandelier above his head in a daze, and ignored Xian Yufei's meaning at all. Well. This damn bad guy, I was the one who hurt him. If I had known this, why would I have broken off the engagement? Xian Yufei looked around disappointedly. Although she was the eldest daughter of the Xian family, no one could help her at this moment. Xian Yufei was ready to accept her fate and planned to follow Lin Dong to the podium. But she knew that once she took this step, the rest of her life would be decided. She resisted in her heart, but what could she do? Yi Fan, if you just say a word at this moment, I, Xian Yufei, will be devoted to you. But Yi Fan still stares at the chandelier above his head and does nothing. What does this mean? Is the chandelier as beautiful as me? Chapter 20. What's the difference between you and Cow the thief? Xian Yufei suddenly felt angry for no reason. How could Yi Fan be so heartless? After all, I was his fiancé, wasn't he? Seeing that I was in trouble, he was so indifferent. Since you don't take the initiative, then I will take the initiative. A look of determination suddenly flashed across Xian Yufei's eyes. Doesn't the Lin family care about face? Then I won't give it to you. Aren't you going to get engaged? If I go up to Yi Fan and hug him and give him a big kiss, will you Lin family still have the nerve to continue the engagement ceremony? If you still have the nerve to do this, then I will take off all my clothes and crawl onto Yi Fan's bed tonight. This green hat was delivered to their home, free shipping by SF Express. If the Lin family can accept this, then Xian Yufei will really accept her fate. Xian Yufei had just taken a step forward when Yi Fan, who had been motionless, suddenly spoke up, "Be careful." The next moment, Yi Fan suddenly appeared, holding Su Yixue on one side and Xian Yufei on the other, and quickly flashed to the side a distance of 2 meters. Lin Dong looked at the change in Xian Yufei's expression, and thought that Xian Yufei had compromised, but suddenly he found that Yi Fan took Xian Yufei away again. Yi Fan, you are sick. She is obviously my designated wife, why do you always like to hug other people's wives? What is the difference between you and the thief cow? Lin Dong was still scolding when suddenly his head seemed to be hit by a locomotive. Bang! There was a dull yet crisp sound, and above Lin Dong's head, a huge chandelier with a diameter of nearly 2 meters hit Lin Dong's head squarely. Lin Dong's head was smashed open and blood flowed down his cheeks. Lin Dong's body shook a few times before he seemed to react. Well, I feel dizzy and I see a lot of little stars. Lin Dong muttered something, and the next moment, his body shook and he fell directly to the ground. Quiet. The scene was so quiet that everyone could almost hear a pin drop. Is it such a coincidence? When Lin Dong was about to take Xian Yufei to the stage, he was suddenly knocked unconscious by the chandelier above his head. All the guests couldn't help but look upwards, and some sharp-eyed guests instantly noticed something was wrong. The chandelier was at least 1 meter away from Lin Dong when it was vertically dropped. Under normal circumstances, even if the chandelier fell, it would not hit Lin Dong. Besides, this is the Lin family's living room, and everything has to be carefully checked over and over again. How could such a low-level problem occur? The screws of the chandelier are loose. This is impossible. Also, how was Yifan able to predict that the chandelier would fall and rescue Shen Yufei and Su Ishio at the critical moment? Not normal. Very abnormal. Now, those shrewd guests looked at Yifan again with eyes full of surprise. They were sure that Yifan was the one behind this. But the evidence? Where is the evidence? Moreover, from what everyone has seen, the Shen family should thank Yifan very much, because if it weren't for Yifan, it wouldn't just be Lin Dong who was knocked unconscious. It is conceivable that if a beautiful lady like Shen Yufei were hit by a chandelier, she might be disfigured. What these guests could see clearly, Lin Hua and the top leaders of the Lin family could naturally see that it must be that bastard Yifan who was behind it, but for the same problem, they could not find any evidence. Xian Jinghua looked at Yifan with relief, stood up and said to Lin Hua, Master Lin, Lin Dong is now unconscious. I think the engagement ceremony has been cancelled. What are you all still doing? Hurry up and save him. Xian Jinghua greeted Lin Hua and did not forget to direct the actions of the Lin family's bodyguards. Xian Jinghua walked towards Yifan and Shen Yufei from the crowd with a smile. Yufei, today's banquet is basically over, let's go home. Good. Shen Yufei had forgotten that Yifan was still hugging her. She didn't know why, but when Yifan hugged her like that just now, Shen Yufei felt a peace she had never felt before. Originally, this embrace belonged completely to me. But now, I pushed him away with my own hands. Shen Yufei felt like she was dreaming about everything that happened in the hall just now. I was ready to take action, and the chandelier just happened to fall down. How could such a coincidence happen in this world? Shen Yufei is also a very smart girl. After a little thought, she knew that it was Yifan who helped her, but his method was more sophisticated. Yifan, thank you. Shen Yufei thanked Yifan gently, and left Yifan's arms reluctantly, then turned her nose up at Yifan. Yifan, I am sorry for what happened before, but I want to tell you that I will not give up. I want to get you back. Forehead. Is this girl so wild? His legal wife is right beside him, yet he openly says he wants to steal someone else's husband. But Shen Yufei immediately added, Sister Ishue, don't worry, I won't take him away, I will keep half of him. Cough cough. Otherwise, why don't you just chop me in half with a knife? Half for you and half for me. The Lin family's bodyguards quickly stepped forward and carried the unconscious Lin Dong away. The engagement ceremony was cancelled because even the main character fainted. As for whether there would be any chances later, everyone who was not an idiot could see that the Lin family had no chance later. Although Yifan did nothing today, he is the absolute winner. Shen Yufei was happy, and Yifan was in a good mood too, but Lin Hua, the head of the Lin family, was so depressed that he was about to go crazy. He is just a young boy from the Yi family, but he actually played the Lin family around. Seeing that Yifan had not left yet, Lin Hua hesitated for a moment and decided to go over to meet Yifan. If necessary, Lin Hua decided to make getting rid of Yifan the Lin family's highest priority target. Yifan, you have been wandering around since you were a child, your parents died early, you have a mother who gave birth to you but not a mother who taught you. I am very unhappy with what you did at the Lin family meeting place today. You are so arrogant, be careful not to die young. Lin Hua's words were extremely vicious. He wanted to deliberately provoke Yifan to take action. As long as Yifan took action, Lin Hua would have a reason to attack him. Lin Hua was very confident that with his own strength, even if he couldn't kill Yifan on the spot, he could at least cripple him. Bang! Yifan didn't hesitate at all. He waved his hand and slapped Lin Hua in the face. Why does your mouth stink so bad? Did you eat feces in the toilet or chew my stinky socks that I haven't washed in 7 days? Lin Hua's eyes were full of stars from the beating and he was completely stunned. Yifan actually slapped himself. Originally, Lin Hua went there with the intention of testing Yifan, but he ended up getting hit by Yifan, and he didn't feel anything at all. He didn't even see how Yifan acted. Have all these years of practice been used up on me? Yifan slapped Lin Hua so hard that he spun several times on the spot, which also shocked all the guests present. Domineering. Mighty. This young man is indeed full of youthful vigor. If you are not passionate, can you still be called a young person? Yifan saw Lin Hua's wife walking towards him holding a teddy bear. A burst of energy shot out from his hand and hit the teddy bear's blood spot. Asshole. Yifan, you uneducated thing, you actually hit an old man. Didn't your parents teach you to respect your elders? Do you think your Yi family is still the Yi family of 3 years ago? Humph, I'm warning you, you'd better behave yourself, otherwise you'll go to see your parents right away. The meaning of this threat was obvious, but it also made Yifan certain of one thing: among those who attacked the Yi family over the past 3 years, there must be members of the Lin family. Woof woof. Everyone looked at Yifan, waiting for his reaction. Suddenly, the teddy bear in Lin Hua's wife's arms started screaming like crazy. Then, it jumped out of its owner's arms, pounced on Lin Hua, and bit Lin Hua's lips hard. Fuck. See, I told you that your mouth really is full of shit. Look, even your dog can smell it. Chapter 21. We are of the same root, why are we so eager to fight each other? Yifan's deliberately exaggerated shouting once again attracted everyone's attention. Those guests who had already walked to the door were attracted by Yifan's words and looked over here. Everyone was very curious and surprised to see that the dog that Lin Hua raised actually pounced on Lin Hua and bit his mouth. It's rare for a pet to attack its owner. And he specifically targeted Lin Hua's mouth to bite? Could it be that, as Yifan said, Lin Hua really died? This is unlikely. You beast, you're looking for death. Lin Hua also knows Kung Fu. After being bitten by Teddy, he became furious. He grabbed Teddy, crushed it on the spot, and threw it to the ground. But even though Lin Hua reacted quickly, Teddy still bit his lip, leaving a cut of more than an inch, and a piece of flesh was torn off, making it look like a cleft lip. This injury is really nothing to Lin Hua. But the key is that it is not very harmful but extremely insulting. After being bitten by a dog, Lin Hua seemed to feel the taste in his mouth when he thought of Yifan saying that dogs eat shit. Damn it. Damn bastard. When Lin Hua looked at Yifan, Yifan was looking at the teddy that was smashed to death on the ground with a look of regret and said, Alas. Master Lin, we are from the same roots, why are you so anxious to hurt each other? You killed him like this, won't your conscience bother you? Before Lin Hua could speak, his wife came to his aid. My son, how could you be killed by the fall? Lin Hua, you bastard, you treat my son like this, you are also his father. Phew. Such a funny scene made some of the guests present couldn't help laughing out loud. Forgive me for laughing so unkindly. Some owners are indeed very fond of their pets and privately call their dogs sons and their cats daughters, and there is nothing wrong with that. But at this time, in such an occasion, Lin Hua's wife called the dog son and said that Lin Hua was its father, which seemed too appropriate. Everyone couldn't help but think of what Yifan had said just now, we are of the same roots, why are we so anxious to fight each other? Especially in Lin Hua's mind, this sentence began to repeat. Damn Yifan, I would be betraying my conscience if I don't teach you a lesson today. Lin Hua was filled with murderous aura, and he moved closer to Yifan step by step, intending to attack him, but suddenly, Xian Jinghua stood in front of him. Old Lin, forget it, forget it. They are just kids. You are the patriarch of the Lin family after all. It would be bad if you were to argue with a junior. While Xian Jinghua was speaking, he reached out and grabbed Lin Hua's arm, and at the same time, there was a fluctuation of energy in Xian Jinghua's hand. It seems that Xian Jinghua is trying to stop the fight, but everyone knows that Xian Jinghua is taking sides. He is protecting Yifan. Of course, with Yifan's current strength, he doesn't need Xian Jinghua to protect him at all. As long as Lin Hua dares to attack Yifan, Yifan promises that he will beat Lin Hua until the shit comes out. Yifan, wait for me. Xian Jinghua had already come out, and there were so many people at the scene, so Lin Hua naturally couldn't just do it. Now the Yi family hadn't fallen yet. If he really did something to Yifan in front of so many people, the two old guys in the Yi family would probably really chop him to death with their knives. Naturally, the banquet could not continue. Yifan and Su Ishua came out of the Lin family mansion. Yifan glanced coldly at the Lin family compound behind him. Damn it. We must find 100 bulldozers to demolish this annoying yard. Yifan, thank you. When Xian Yufei and Yifan parted, she looked at Yifan deeply again. Yifan, I said, I will not give up. Starting tomorrow, I will try my best to get you back. Yifan touched his nose and said, Miss Xian, I know I am very handsome, but as the saying goes, a good horse never turns back to eat grass. Why are you doing this? Yifan looked at Xian Jinghua next to him. The key point is that as the head of the Xian family, Xian Jinghua's attitude today actually explains the problem. The Xian family doesn't have to stand on the side of the Lin family. If that's the case, then why would they want to cancel the engagement? After Xian Yufei left, Yifan drove away from the Lin family residence with Su Ishua, but they did not go to Jun Lantiangxia's residence. Husband, where are we going? Yifan shocked Su Ishua too much today. It turned out that Yifan was the eldest son of the Yi family, the first family in Daxia, and he was also engaged to the Xian family. The key point is that Yifan attacked the Lin family so arrogantly. What if the Lin family retaliated? Let's go to the Yi family. We have been married for 3 years. An ugly daughter-in-law has to meet her parents-in-law. It's time to take you to meet my grandfather and great-grandfather. Yifan responded to Su Ishua while driving. TSK. How am I ugly? Why didn't you tell me earlier? I haven't prepared any gifts. It's so late now, how about we do it another day? Su Ishua was a little shy, but also a little happy. After all, if a man is willing to take a girl to meet his family, it means that he already regards you as the most important person to him. I've prepared the gift. I've put it in the trunk. Just take it up later. Oh. Hearing that Yifan had arranged all this, Su Ishua felt a little relieved. In the Lin family compound, after everyone left, Lin Hua was like a madman, roaring wildly in the yard. There was no reservation in the martial arts energy in his hands, which smashed madly onto the attic and various decorations in the yard, smashing the originally elegant courtyard into pieces. Yifan, you little bastard, I'm not done with you. The Lin family lost face today. Originally Shen Yufei and Lin Dong were talking and dancing, but in the end it became Yifan's show. The final engagement ceremony also became a joke. The chandelier fell down strangely. Someone, come here, have you finished investigating the reason why the chandelier fell? Who did it? Lin Hua shouted angrily at the bodyguards standing far away. Master, we just carefully checked the broken part of the chandelier. The broken part seems to have been cut by some sharp tool and then fell down. Listening to his subordinates' reports, Lin Hua's brows were furrowed. Cut or broken by a sharp tool. Lin Hua was sure that this was definitely not a coincidence, but if it was Yifan who did something, it would mean that Yifan's strength had reached a very terrifying level. If you want to use qi as a tool to cut things, you must be at least at the Grandmaster level, right? Thinking about the fact that the master who went to massacre the Yi family tonight had been killed, Lin Hua suddenly had a bold guess. Could it be that the unlucky bastard Qian Kuei was killed by Yifan? But the news from the black market was very certain that Qian Kuei was killed by a man named Yi Junqian. What is the relationship between Yi Junqian and Yifan? Lin Hua was still thinking when Lin Dong, whose head was wrapped like a dumpling, suddenly appeared in the courtyard with the help of several bodyguards. Second uncle, you have to avenge me. It's all Yifan's fault. Lin Dong was planning to cry to Lin Hua, but when he saw his uncle's cracked mouth, he was stunned for a moment. Uncle, your mouth, what's this? Before, when Lin Hua was bitten by a dog, Lin Dong had already passed out, so he didn't see it. It was all because of that bastard Yifan. I don't know what tricks he used to make Teddy Bear bite me. Lin Dong became even more angry when he thought about how he was slapped in public by Yifan. After all, Lin Hua was at the level of mastering martial arts, and he was completely unaware of Yifan's actions. With the Lin family's own strength, I'm afraid they can't deal with Yifan. Second uncle, please ask the Blood Robe sect to take action. Yifan's return at this time will have a huge impact on our Lin family. If he ruins our future plans, the consequences will be even more serious. Lin Dong was so angry that his body was shaking, and he stomped his feet on the ground fiercely. I will not rest in peace until Yifan is dead. Lin Hua nodded. It seems that we have no choice but to ask the Blood Robe sect to take action. I will contact them now. Yifan must die within 3 days. Chapter 22, 150 kilograms of body weight, 149 kilograms is a rebellious body. Yi family compound. Although it was late at night, the lights were bright, and the courtyard was filled with bodyguards. Yifan, who had just parked the car, was stunned when he saw the scene in front of him, but then he immediately understood. After all, my grandfather had said during the day that a master-level expert was coming to massacre the Yi family. Let's all go. Yifan said to Zhang Bo and the bodyguards at the door as he walked towards the gate with Su Ishio. Young master? Why are you back again? The master said that we can't disperse. That master is coming to massacre the Yi family tonight. We must be prepared for defense. Uncle Zhang walked out of the crowd and looked at the situation behind Yifan with a vigilant look on his face. Today, almost all the forces that the Yi family can mobilize have been mobilized. Don't you know yet? It is said that the Grandmaster was killed in the black market of Yuncheng. Yifan said calmly, because it was Yifan who killed Qian Kuei with his own hands, so the news must be correct. Killed. Zhang Bo was still confused when several bodyguards suddenly rushed over and reported to him. Zhang Bo immediately became excited. That master was really killed. Is it such a coincidence? That's great, that's great. Everyone in the Yi family breathed a sigh of relief. In the hall, Yi Changfeng, the old man of the Yi family, sighed, if we have a chance, we must thank Yi Zhentian. No, I must find an opportunity to go to the black market tomorrow to thank him for being able to kill a master-level expert. His strength is at least above that of a master, and he may have reached the level of martial arts master. In the secular world, having the strength to reach the level of martial master is already a very terrifying existence. Grandpa, let's forget about this. He might have his own things to do. How can he always show up in the black market? Yifan dissuaded his grandfather with a guilty conscience. If his grandfather really went to the black market to find Yi Zhentian, wouldn't he have to go there to make a cameo appearance? If my grandfather is in a good mood and wants to make me sworn brothers with him, what should I do? Calling your own grandfather big brother? What a fuss! How can that be? He has helped our Yi family so much. If our Yi family does not express our gratitude, it would be unreasonable. Yi Changfeng has his own ideas. I will try my best to find Mr. Yi. Seeing his grandfather was so persistent, Yi Fan was helpless. It seemed that he could only play a cameo role. However, Grandpa's words also gave Yi Fan an idea. Now the Yi family has no reason to take direct action against the Lin family. But that Yi Zhentian can do it. Damn it. When Yi Fan saw the faces of Lin Hua and his men, he became angry. Once the information from Han Zhuo's investigation is out, Yi Fan will definitely destroy the Lin family as soon as possible. The Yi family was attacked by a master-level expert once again. All the wealthy families in Yuncheng tried to avoid it, but there was only one family that did not escape. That is the Wang family of Yuncheng. The old man of the Wang family, Wang Fugui's grandfather, personally led people to take charge of the Yi family. Old Wang, there's nothing to do now. Why don't you go back first? Yi Changfeng stood up and greeted the old man of the Wang family and sent him away. The old man of the Wang family looked Yi Fan up and down, nodded with satisfaction and said, Old Yi, look at your grandson, his forehead is full and his face is full of rosy glow. At first glance, he is a dragon among men. His future achievements will definitely be higher than yours. I have to let my kid hang out with your grandson more. Yi Changfeng looked at Yi Fan unhappily and asked, You want to follow this bastard like me? Young model in Qianqian Club. What does it look like? After seeing off Mr. Wang, Yi Changfeng turned his gaze to Su Yixue who was standing beside Yi Fan and said, This is my granddaughter-in-law, Miss Yixue, right? Yi Changfeng looked Su Yixue up and down. Su Yixue looked dignified and beautiful in a long dress with outstanding temperament. She was indeed a top beauty. Alas! Such a good girl, such a good cabbage, was eaten by a pig. Mr. Yi's previous words were quite normal, but the sudden words made Su Yixue stunned. Grandpa, is there anyone who says that about your own grandson? If you want to praise the girl, just praise the girl. Why do you call your grandson a pig? Grandpa, I'm a pig, then what are you? Grandpa Pig, har har. Yi Fan suddenly laughed out loud, leaving Yi Changfeng speechless. You little brat, I'll beat you up. Su Yixue looked at the father and son making such a fuss and felt a little amused and helpless. The way people get along in this most wealthy family in Dacia is different from what I imagined. The grandfather and grandson were playing around when a young man wearing gold-rimmed glasses walked out from the backyard. Grandpa, I heard that the master was suddenly killed. This is great. Although the young man said good things, there was a subtle gloom in his eyes. Especially when he saw the warm interaction between Yi Changfeng and Yi Fan, the viciousness in his eyes became more obvious. Seeing the young man coming out, Yi Changfeng was too lazy to chase Yi Fan and introduced him to Yi Fan and Su Yixue. Yi Fan, Yixue, let me introduce you. This is your eldest brother, named Yi Xiu. I adopted him when he was 3 years old. Now he helps manage some things of the Lin group. After a pause, Yi Changfeng continued, Yi Fan. You have to work hard as soon as possible. The Yi family is counting on you to take over in the future. If you are still so decadent, the Yi family can only be handed over to Yi Xiu. Hearing Yi Changfeng's words, Yi Xiu's eyes flashed with a fierce light. Grandpa, please don't say that. I'm just helping Xiaofan manage the Yi family. The entire Yi family belongs to Xiaofan at all times. I know my position very well and won't think too much. It's great that you think so. But don't worry, I won't treat you unfairly. Yi Changfeng looked at Yi Xiu with a gratified look on his face, very satisfied. But even though Yi Xiu said this, in his heart, he hated Yi Changfeng to the extreme. This old man still only has Yi Fan in his heart. At this point, Yi Fan was clearly acting so rubbish and cowardly, yet he still wanted to hand over the Yi family to Yi Fan. Then what was the purpose of working like a slave for Yi Fan for so many years? Hello, big brother. After hearing his grandfather's introduction, Yi Fan smiled and stepped forward, stretched out his hand and shook hands with Yi Xiu. Big brother, you have worked hard for the Yi family for so many years, it is indeed hard. But let me be frank, if big brother is really doing good for the Yi family, I will naturally be grateful. But if big brother is a traitor and does something that harms the Yi family, don't blame me for being rude. In the past 3 years, although Yi Fan married into the Su family, he did not stop investigating the attack that year. Especially regarding the attack on the Yi family, after all, the Yi family has 800,000 Qianlong troops behind them. If they want to attack the Yi family quietly, they must have an insider. At that time, Yi Fan was still wondering who could obtain the internal information of the Yi family so accurately and serve as an insider. But when he saw Yi Xiu, Yi Fan instantly understood. If his intuition was correct, then Yi Xiu must be the traitor. Although this guy is dressed like a decent human being, he weighs 150 kilograms, and 149 kilograms is a rebellious character. While speaking, Yi Fan did not hold back his murderous aura and released it wantonly. Yi Xiu instantly felt like he had fallen into an ice cellar. He shivered all over and his eyes were full of confusion. That's not right. According to the information I got this afternoon, isn't Yi Fan a scumbag who hangs out in clubs every day? How can he be so powerful? He. Brother, you're joking. If Grandpa hadn't taken me in, I would have starved to death on the streets. How could I possibly do something to let down the Yi family? Yi Xiu smiled awkwardly, but he was actually very panicked inside. Could it be that Yi Fan discovered what I did? Impossible. Chapter 23 My wife's sister. That's the best. You continue to help manage the Yi family, so that I can continue to pick up girls. Yi Fan put away his murderous aura and said to Yi Xiu with a wicked look on his face, Brother, I heard that a new Overlord club has opened in Yuncheng. The girls there are all very young. How about I invite you to try some meat tomorrow? This is not appropriate, let's just forget it. While speaking, Yi Xiu turned his head to look at Su Yixue. He really didn't know what Yi Fan was thinking. His wife was still next to him. Was it really okay for him to openly say that he was going to pick up girls? The key point is that Su Yixue is really the same as what the outside world says, and she doesn't seem to care about Yi Fan's behavior at all. How did Yi Fan do it? Why be polite to your brother? See you tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. Yi Fan spoke seemingly casually, but there was a hint of evil in his eyes. Yi Fan did it on purpose. Now that the eldest son of the Yi family has returned in a high-profile manner, it means that the Yi family has not fallen yet and there is still hope. The attack 3 years ago did not kill the eldest son of the Yi family. Now that Yi Fan is back, there must be many people who don't want him to be alive. Yi Fan deliberately exposed his location and whereabouts just to test Yi Xiu. If Yi Xiu was one of their people and was working with them as an insider, he would definitely notify them and they would definitely take action. Yi Fan looked at Yi Xiu's honest appearance, and sneered in his heart. This guy is pretending to be very good. But Yi Fan was also thinking in his heart that if he killed Yi Xiu, he would need to find a group of people to replace Yi Xiu to manage the entire Yi family group as soon as possible. After all, grandpa and great-grandfather are old, and Yi Fan himself certainly doesn't have the energy to manage the family business. When everyone was chatting and considering whether to have a midnight snack, Su Yixue suddenly received a call from the company. What? Our supply of goods has suddenly been cut off. I see, I'll come to the company right away. Su Yixue hung up the phone and said to Yi Changfeng, Yi Fan and others anxiously, Grandpa, husband, there is something going on at the company and I need to go over to take care of it. Sorry, I have to leave first. Yi Fan asked with concern, do you need my help? Su Yixue shook her head. No, I can go alone. You should stay with Grandpa more. Yi Fan did have some things to discuss with Xie Xie. He hadn't had the chance before, so now was the perfect time to talk about it in detail. Well, be careful on the road. Su Yixue left, and Yi Xiu also tactfully said goodbye and left. When only Yi Changfeng and Yi Fan were left in the room, Yi Fan became serious for once. Grandpa, the Yi family was attacked that night. How much do you know about the details? Yi Changfeng shook his head. The attack happened too suddenly. Your second uncle and third uncle died in the battle. Your parents are missing. Bei Luo Shaman was also attacked. Rumor has it that you have died. At that time, all the male members of the Yi family, except for me and your great-grandfather, were killed. After that, there was a heavy rain, and all the clues disappeared. I've been investigating for years, but there's basically no useful information. When Yi Changfeng mentioned what happened in the past, he sighed and looked at Yifan earnestly and said, My Yi family is dwindling, and all our hopes are on you. Grandpa won't say anything to you. Go ahead and pick up girls, and it's also okay if you give birth to more children for the Yi family. After listening to his grandfather's words, Yifan was speechless. What's going on? From what Grandpa said, he has no hope for himself anymore, so he wants me to be a stud and produce more offspring. He is pinning his hopes on the next generation? Yifan wanted to tell his grandfather that he was invincible now, but Yifan knew that hiding his strength was the best option. If he showed himself to be too strong, those enemies who had dealt with the Yi family before would not dare to show up again. But one thing is certain, the Lin family must have had a hand in it. And I suspect that the Dragon Lord should have participated in the plan back then to some extent. The 800,000 Qianlong troops on the southwest border have all been labeled as the Yi family's army, which will keep many people awake at night. Alas, if your strength can be restored and the Yi flag remains intact, who dares to look down on my Yi family? After listening to his grandfather's analysis, Yifan already had a rough outline in his mind. Don't worry, in my hands, Yifan, the Yi family will not fall. After saying goodbye to his grandfather, Yifan just went out and saw dozens of black Audis parked on the road next to Yi's house. A middle-aged man in a shirt saw Yifan and immediately knelt down respectfully and said, I am Li Hu, the subordinate, and I am here to greet you, instructor. Instructor, you are still alive, it is really great. Please forgive me for not knowing the news until now. Yifan glanced at Li Hu in front of him and said, Don't blame you. I deliberately hid my identity before, and I have been doing well these years. Li Hu, one of the 4 underground godfathers of Yuncheng, started from scratch 8 years ago and gradually formed his own power and industry. He has considerable influence in Yuncheng. In fact, when Li Hu was in the overseas mercenary team, it was Yifan who was the instructor and trained them. So after learning the news that Yifan had returned to Yuncheng, Li Hu came to visit him as soon as possible. Thank you for the compliment, instructor. Everything I have was given by you. If you need anything, I will be on standby at any time. Li Hu came here today to show his loyalty. Others may not know, but Li Hu knows how terrifying the instructor's strength is. Everyone said that the instructor died in the attack 3 years ago and lost all his skills, but Li Hu firmly believed that the instructor would not die like that. Okay. I will find you if I need you. Let the brothers retreat. Yifan waved his hand lightly, but did not reject Li Hu's kindness. Although Yifan had the power of Hanzhuo and Bei Luo Shaman under his command, there were some things that Bei Luo Shaman might not be able to cover all. It might not be a bad thing for Li Hu to make some supplements. After being delayed at the Yi family, it was already an hour later when Yifan returned to Junlantiangxia villa. As soon as he entered the villa, Yifan heard the sound of running water in the bathroom. Su Ishua is back so soon. Start washing white. Hey. Yifan's strength has now broken through the 9th level of the dragon controlling technique. He can finally touch a woman. He has already made an appointment with Su Ishua to have sex with her tonight. This little girl is really sensible. Wife, I'm here. Yifan walked quickly towards the bathroom door, taking off his clothes as he walked. What's wrong with taking a bath together with your wife and adding some romance? When entering the bathroom, Yifan saw a graceful figure standing in the bathroom. Although he had admired that beautiful body in the mist before, this scene was a different experience. Yifan walked forward with a tender look on his face, put his hands around his wife, and kissed Su Ishua on her lips. Moan. Su Ishua let out a moan in Yifan's arms, her body stiffened, but she let Yifan's big hands caress her body. However, when Yifan moved his hands and mouth, he was a little confused. Why does it feel a little different from last night? Seems more immature? More tender? The fire in the bathroom was getting hot. When Yifan was considering whether to take it further, the sound of a car engine suddenly rang out outside the villa, and at the same time, a familiar voice rang out, Honey, I'm back. Kindness? Hearing this voice, Yifan's hair stood up instantly. His wife Su Ishua just came back? Then who is the one in my arms now? Yifan quickly pushed the person in his arms away, and the beauty in his arms gave Yifan a sly smile, hee hee. Brother-in-law, now I am yours too, hee hee. Su Qingru. Su Ishiu's sister from the same mother? Although the two sisters are 3 or 4 years apart in age, they look almost exactly like each other. Did I just kiss my sister-in-law? Damn it. The key point is, Su Qingru didn't resist at all. Chapter 24. Come on. Call daddy. You? Although Yifan is usually unrestrained, he is a little confused at this moment. What does my sister-in-law mean? This is a secret between my brother-in-law and me. Su Qingru gave Yifan an evil smile, wrapped herself in a bathrobe, quickly left the bathroom and walked towards the bedroom on the second floor. At this moment, Yifan suddenly heard a quarrel outside, and hurriedly put on his clothes and went out. Outside the door, Yun Feiyang stopped Su Ishue again. Ishue, your company is suddenly out of stock, I'm sorry. But you know, it's a business behavior, I can't help an outsider to go against the family. How about this, you agree to be my girlfriend? I'll call the family to resume supply right away. In order to get Su Ishue, Yun Feiyang put in all his efforts. Knowing that the Su family mainly deals in jewelry, they need a large amount of jadeite raw stone supply, and the most important source of supply comes from the Yun family. So Yun Feiyang directly used the power of the family to stop supplying to the Su group, hoping to use this as a threat to make Su Ishue agree to be Yun Feiyang's woman. Yun Feiyang, you are shameless. Doing this will only make me look down on you even more. In order to make me submit, you actually use such despicable means. Su Ishue stomped her feet on the ground angrily, but she was helpless. Most of Dashiar's jadeite raw stones come from Myanmar, and the Yun family happens to be the general agent of General Songpa, Myanmar's largest supplier, in Dashiar. As long as the Su family wants to continue to do jewelry business, they can't get around the Yun family. Shameless? I think it is a little bit, but it doesn't matter. As long as this method is useful, I don't care whether it is shameless or not as long as I know it can achieve the goal. Yun Feiyang smiled faintly. Ishue, you only have 1 day to consider. If you still don't agree after 1 day, the Yun family will not only be out of stock, but also ban the Su group in Qiannan province. Think about it, can you bear it? Yun Feiyang looked like he had Su Ishue in his grasp. On the contrary, as long as you agree to be my girlfriend, my Yun family will fully support the Su group to become the jewelry overlord of Qiannan province and even the entire southwest. What do you think? Ishue, you should know what to choose, right? Don't follow that trashy fan. He can't do anything except picking up girls. Why bother? While speaking, Yun Feiyang reached out his hand, wanting to take the opportunity to hug Su Ishue's waist. But as soon as he stretched out his hand, it was grabbed by a pair of pliers. It seems that the warning during the day was useless. The person who came was naturally Yifan. After reaching out and grabbing Yun Feiyang's arm, without any hesitation, Yifan's energy surged in his hand and directly broke Yun Feiyang's wrist. Snap! After a crisp sound, Yun Feiyang suddenly felt a piercing pain in his arm. Oh my god, my hand! In the afternoon, Yun Feiyang was slapped by Yifan, and was almost beaten by Wang Fugue so badly that his parents didn't recognize him. And now, Yifan actually broke one of his hands? How dare he? Yifan, you are crazy. You dare to attack me? Do you dare to mess with my Yun family? Yun Feiyang covered his hands and stepped back while scolding Yifan. Come here, beat him to death. Yifan smiled faintly. Yun family. I am the only legitimate son of the Yi family, the first family in Dashiar. You, the rubbish Yun family, are shit in my eyes. Come on, if you dare, try to touch a hair of mine. Looking at the bodyguards rushing out from behind Yun Feiyang, Yifan smiled coldly. Do you really think that the Yi family, the number 1 family in Dashiar, is just joking? Although the Yi family is now in decline, the influence of the old man and the great-grandfather in Dashiar is still there. In addition, with Yifan's high-profile return, the family has seen new hope, and the attitude of many people who are waiting and watching towards the Yi family will inevitably change again. Because for a large family, its own strength is an important aspect. Another more important aspect is to focus on the training of future generations. If a family has no descendants to continue its development, then no matter how prosperous it is, it will eventually come to an end. This is also the reason why many families distanced themselves from the Yi family after the attack in the past 3 years. Because at that time, the news everyone received was that Yifan had died. This Yun Feiyang's bodyguards all stopped what they were doing instantly and looked at Yun Feiyang. Yun Feiyang also remembered that at the Lin family banquet, Yifan had already announced his identity as the eldest son of the Yi family. Now that the Yi family has not fallen, Yun Feiyang really doesn't dare to do anything to Yifan. Yifan, you only know how to use your fists. What we have with the Su family is a business transaction. Even if you beat me to death, it won't change the current situation. Humph. Do you think the Yi family is still the same as before? Although Yun Feiyang was unhappy, he did not let his bodyguards continue to attack Yifan. You are too greedy. You already have Shen Yufei, why do you want to snatch Su Yishue from me? Before Yifan could speak, Su Yishue spoke first. What's it to you? My husband has charisma, and Miss Shen is willing to follow my husband. What does it have to do with you? Su Yishue's love for Yifan has really reached the point of being unconditional. Yifan looked at Su Yishue and thought about what he had just done to Su Qingru in the bathroom, feeling a little embarrassed. Seeing Yun Feiyang's expression, Yifan smiled coldly. Isn't this a business behavior? Fine. Then use business behavior to solve it. The reason why your Yun family is so arrogant is because General Sungpar gave the agency rights to your Yun family, right? With one phone call from me, your Yun family will immediately lose the agency rights. While Yifan was speaking, he took out his cell phone and prepared to make a call. Hearing Yifan's words, Yun Feiyang couldn't help but burst out laughing. One phone call. Har har. Yifan, you are too arrogant. The Yi family is about to die now, and you can mobilize General Sungpar with just one phone call. Will he pay attention to you? Come and call me immediately. If you can get General Sungpar to take away the agency rights of the Yun family immediately, I will call you daddy. The Yun family and General Sungpar have been cooperating for many years, and the old man of the Yun family has a very good relationship with General Sungpar. In the distribution of interests between the two parties, the Yun family made a lot of concessions in order to continue to obtain the authority of the general agent. In Daxia, it is estimated that no other family can give such a huge benefit to General Sungpar. Yun Feiyang was 100% sure that General Sungpar would never fall out with the Yun family just because of a declining family. On the other side, Yifan had already called General Sungpar. The emperor finally showed up. It's so good to know that you are okay. You don't know, after learning that you were in trouble, I shed a lot of tears. When the call was connected, General Sungpar solemnly expressed his longing for Yifan. Okay. I'm calling to inform you of something. My wife is the president of Yuncheng Su Jewelry. Now she wants to take your general agency rights in Daxia. Is that a problem? Oh. By the way, there's an idiot in the Yun family who wants to use the agency rights to threaten me and steal my wife. You can do whatever you want. The Yun family dares to snatch the emperor's wife. I know. I will immediately terminate all cooperation with them. Tomorrow morning, if not tonight, I will take a plane to Yuncheng. I will definitely deliver the contract to Miss Su's desk on time tomorrow morning. Songpar looked respectful on the phone. Back then, Songpar was almost killed by someone, but at the critical moment, Yifan came forward to save him, taught him kung fu, and helped him rise in Myanmar. Without Yifan, there would be no General Songpar today. How could General Songpar refuse any request Yifan had? Less than a minute after Yifan hung up the phone, Yun Feiyang's phone rang. It was his father Yun Batian calling. General Songpar suddenly announced that he would terminate all cooperation with our Yun family, saying that you offended someone you shouldn't have offended. Yun Feiyang was stunned for a moment and looked at Yifan in disbelief. Didn't the Yi family fall into decline? How could they still control General Songpar of Myanmar? Did they really cut off cooperation with the Yun family? Yifan raised the corner of his mouth, looked at Yun Feiyang with an evil look and said, "Come on. Call me daddy." Chapter 25 Sister. Brother-in-law, lend it to me tomorrow. You? Yun Feiyang was shocked as he looked at Yifan in front of him and thought of what Yifan did at the Lin family banquet. Yifan even dared to deal with Lin Dong, and finally beat up Lin Hua, the head of the Lin family, in front of so many people. Being so arrogant, does Yifan really have some tricks and trump cards? But according to my own investigation, hasn't Yifan been picking up girls in the Yuncheng club for the past 3 years? Before, Yifan was indeed a genius and evil disciple of Beiluo Shaman, but when Beiluo Shaman was attacked, the roots of Yifan's cultivation were said to be destroyed, and one of his kidneys was dug out. How come Yifan seems to be fine now? But no matter what, Su Yishu has a special physique, and I must get her. Yifan, just wait for me. You won't be able to show off for 2 days. Ho! Yun Feiyang snorted coldly at Yifan and crawled out of the Jun Lantiangxia villa compound. Yifan looked at Yun Feiyang, who was fleeing in a panic, and said coldly, Yun Feiyang, there is no such thing as a third time. This is the last time, I warn you. If you dare to harass my wife next time, I will definitely use a bulldozer to flatten your Yun family. Keep my word. A hint of ruthlessness flashed in Yifan's eyes. I have already announced that Su Ishiu is my wife, but there are still some trash coming here to mess things up. If we don't kill the chicken to scare the monkeys, there will be no end to it. Honey, is this General Songpar whom you just contacted? Is he planning to give the agency rights of Burmese jadeite raw stones to our Su group? Su Ishiu asked Yifan in disbelief. In just one day, Su Ishiu discovered that her husband seemed a little different from before and had given her too many surprises. The eldest son of the first family of Daxia. Su Ishiu never thought that her husband, who liked to pick up girls, actually had such a powerful background. The Su group is just a third-rate family in Yuncheng. Compared with the Yi family, I am totally marrying up. Of course. Wife, starting from tomorrow, the agency rights of Myanmar's jadeite raw stones in Daxia will belong to Su group. Yifan hugged Su Ishiu and walked into the villa. Su Ishiu was looking at Yifan's profile from the side, and secretly decided in her heart that tonight, she must do her best to serve her husband. Sister, brother-in-law, you are back. As soon as the two entered the room, Su Qingru, wearing a cool pajamas, bent down to greet them with a smile. The moment she bent down, the ravine in front of Su Qingru was suddenly visible to Yifan. Thinking of the intimate contact in the bathroom just now, Yifan couldn't help but be dazed. Qingru. Why are you here? Su Ishiu was a little surprised to see Su Qingru suddenly appear in the room. Is school closed today? Su Qingru has just turned 18 and is still in college. Today is Thursday, so logically, Su Qingru should be in school, right? I'm just missing my sister and brother-in-law. When Su Qingru spoke, she emphasized the word brother-in-law. In fact, ever since Yifan entered the Su family, Su Qingru, the sister-in-law, has been particularly concerned about Yifan. At that time, Su Qingru was still in high school, and she often pestered Yifan, asking him to go shopping with her, travel with her, go out for dinner, and so on. Yifan suddenly thought that this sister-in-law must have done this on purpose today. She had planned this for a long time and must have coveted this young master's beauty. Well, we lost Jingju because of our carelessness. There happens to be an event at school tomorrow, so I don't have classes in the morning, so I came here. Su Qingru took Su Ishiu's arm and said, Sister, I have a promise that I want to sleep with you tonight, and you are not allowed to chase me away. Su Qingru's words stunned both Yifan and Su Ishiu. The two of them were planning to have a party together tonight, but Su Qingru suddenly wanted to sleep with Su Ishiu. How could the event continue? Oh! Qingru, you are so old, what's the matter with you still sleeping with your sister? Listen, adults sleep alone. Your sister is my wife, you sleep with her at night, where should I sleep? Yifan wanted to appeal for his rights righteously. But Su Qingru just stuck out her tongue and said, Har har. If brother-in-law is afraid, he can come with us. TSK. Qingru, what nonsense are you talking about? He's your brother-in-law, how could he? Su Ishiu quickly reached out and tapped Su Qingru on the head twice, but she didn't know that something unspeakable had actually happened between the two of them just now. Su Ishiu looked at Yifan apologetically, I'll make the bed for your brother-in-law downstairs later. Su Qingru was naturally just talking. After they finished washing up and were eating fruit on the sofa, Su Qingru took Su Ishiu's arm and said, Sister, I came back today to borrow my brother-in-law's house this afternoon. No. Without waiting for Su Ishiu to speak, Yifan directly refused. This little girl definitely has no good intentions. This guy. If I were to lend myself to someone for an hour, what would I do? Beast? Or worse than beasts? Lend your brother-in-law? What do you want to borrow him for? Su Ishiu asked Su Qingru curiously. There is a dance at school tomorrow afternoon. The teacher asked me to participate, but I need a dance partner. I would like to ask my brother-in-law to go with me. Su Qingru looked at Yifan with a dazed face, and tears were about to drip from her eyes. Kindness? Let your brother-in-law dance with you? Your brother-in-law is good at this. Su Ishiu couldn't help but think of the scene a few hours ago when she and Shen Yufei danced with Yifan at the same time at the Lin family. That was truly stunning. Hubby, if you have nothing to do tomorrow, why don't you go with Gru? Su Ishua said to Yifan, but she had her own plans. Yifan could dance with Shen Yufei yesterday, so why couldn't his own sister? Good things should be kept within the family. Even if Yifan took advantage of them, they were still his family. It was much better than those other stinky men taking advantage of him. This. Su Ishua spoke. It was difficult for Yifan to refuse this wife who had always been so good to him. Okay. Brother-in-law, just agree to it. Su Qingru stepped forward, took Yifan's arm, and shook it hard. The loose nightgown was about to slip off Su Qingru's shoulders, but Su Qingru was not at all afraid of exposing her naked body and looked expectant. Okay. I'll go, why can't I go? Yifan sighed helplessly. He has been in the Su family for so many years, and the two sisters of the Su family have actually been very nice to him. At that time, the little girl Su Qingru would bring a banana for herself after eating one. Just like Su Ishio, she never complained about doing nothing and just eating for free. At midnight, after Su Ishua and Su Qingru fell asleep, Yifan got up from the bed, put on his clothes, quietly left Junlanqianxia, and rushed towards the Royal Club No. 1. This time, Yifan was not going to pick up girls, but to go on a date. When Yifan tracked down the girl Chu Yang during the day, although Chu Yang did not admit that she was the junior sister, she tapped Yifan's hand twice and left the room card of the general manager's office. Didn't we agree to meet at 2 o'clock in the evening? At the same time, in the general manager's office of Royal No. 1, Shuyan also took off all her clothes, put on a cool pajamas, and lay down on the bed. Chapter 26 I Kissed the Wrong Person Again. Royal No. 1 is basically closed. Except for the security room at the entrance, the building was dark and the door was locked. If you wanted to get in, the normal way was to call the security guard. However, this floor height is naturally not a problem for Yifan. Yifan found an empty spot behind the building, kicked the ground with his ankles, and with a few jumps, he was already at the window of the general manager's office on the 8th floor. When he turned over and entered the room, Yifan noticed someone lying on the bed. Yifan smiled in his heart. Junior sister, are you still going to play some romance with me? Yifan quietly approached the bed, stretched out his hand and hugged the person on the bed. His big hands began to climb up the mountain and his mouth kissed the beauty on the bed. Junior sister, you didn't admit it during the day, watch me make it a fait accompli tonight. Yifan had already determined in his heart that the person in front of him was his junior sister Suchan. Because if it wasn't Suchan, why would junior sister ask me to come to see her at 2 o'clock in the morning? Return the room card to the general manager's office. Yingning. The beautiful woman on the bed let out a soft cry and responded with her lips. But when he heard this voice, Yifan instantly got furious. Isn't this voice junior sister? Yifan quickly jumped off the bed, feeling surprised. No way, I have recognized the wrong person twice today. Who? What are you doing? The beautiful woman on the bed had noticed something was wrong, and quickly turned over and turned on the bedside lamp. The beauty on the bed at this time was none other than Shuyun, the boss of Royal No. 1. Yifan had torn off most of Shuyun's nightgown, revealing her chest in full view. Seeing a man suddenly appear in the room, and with Yifan's saliva on her lips, Shuyun instantly understood what had just happened. Help the gangster come here. Shuyun screamed instantly, reached out to cover her view with the quilt, and retreated backwards with a vigilant look on her face. Beauty, don't scream, I didn't mean it. Yifan really didn't mean it. He came here to see his junior sister, but in the end, Yifan never expected that the person lying on the bed was not his junior sister. Seeing Shuyun still screaming, Yifan had no choice but to rush over, press Shuyun down, and then cover Shuyun's mouth. I really didn't mean it. I came here to look for my junior sister. My junior sister gave me the room card, but I didn't know that she wasn't in the room. While speaking, Yifan took out the room card of the general manager's office and waved it in front of Shuyun. At this time, Shuyun also calmed down, looked at Yifan carefully, and immediately recognized him. Wasn't this man in front of her the senior brother that Suchan mentioned? He had come to see Suchan during the day. But Shuyun didn't understand. Since Suchan had left a room card for Yifan, why didn't she wait for him? Instead, she let herself sleep in the office. Now, my innocence has been taken away by Yifan. That was his first kiss. Wu Shuyun nodded, indicating that she would not scream anymore. Yifan breathed a sigh of relief, and just as he was about to let go of Shuyun, his expression suddenly changed. Someone is coming, don't make a sound. While speaking, Yifan turned off the lights in the room and stared towards the door. It's so late, and there's still someone coming to the general manager's office. It would have been fine if it was just one person, but 5 people came, and 2 of them were martial arts masters. In the darkness, Shuyun was pressed down by Yi Fan, feeling the masculine scent on his body, her face flushed with shame, and she whispered, "You hurt me." Shuyun twisted her body, trying to avoid Yi Fan's legs and feet. Yi Fan then realized that his posture was not quite appropriate. The key point was that a grown man would have some natural reactions when facing such a beauty. Yi Fan quickly got off Shuyun, turned over and hid in the corner of the bed to conceal his breath. Snap! The door suddenly opened and several men quickly entered the room. "Mr. Ju, should we just do it?" One of the men pulled out a gleaming dagger and gestured beside the bed. "Will this be a bad idea? If we kill that bitch, the higher-ups won't cause trouble for us, right? What are you afraid of? The young master has made it clear that she must be killed, and the thing on her body must be found. The old man will definitely give that thing to this bitch." The leader, Mr. Ju, urged his men impatiently, "Hurry up and do it, or else there will be more trouble. If we can't kill him tonight, we'll have to waste more time tomorrow." "Yes." The man holding the dagger quickly approached Shuyun. At this time, Shuyun was lying on the bed, extremely nervous. She could never have imagined that those people above her were so impatient that they dared to rush into the office and kill people. What to do? Shuyun knew that Suchan's senior brother must be skilled in kung fu, but could he be a match for all of them? Swish! Seeing the killer waving the dagger, Shuyun was about to scream. Yi Fan then shot out from the corner of the wall, grabbed the killer's wrist, smashed the dagger in the killer's hand, and broke the killer's wrist directly. "You're looking for death." Yi Fan snorted coldly, swung the killer up like a wooden stick, and smashed him hard to the ground. The lights in the room turned on. Yi Fan and Shuyun got off the bed and looked at the leading man. Shuyun was shocked and angry. "Ju Dao, you are too much. You are a vassal family, how dare you kill the young lady? Aren't you afraid that the family will kill you?" Ju Dao was a little surprised when he saw that the person who got off the bed was not Suchan but Shuyun. "Humph! If the family wants to kill me, it depends on who is in charge of the family now. Har har, the old man is in a coma, but isn't the eldest young master the one who has the final say in the family? That bitch is not here, she escaped by luck, but how many days do you think she can hide for? Ju Dao is a smart man." Just now, when Yi Fan took down his bodyguard with one move, Ju Dao could see that Yi Fan was quite powerful. It's not a good place to stay for long. Let's go. Ju Dao called a few of his men, and then said to Shuyun, "Shuyun, I think you are still quite pretty, I advise you to be more sensible. If you climb into my bed earlier, maybe I can save your life in front of the young master." Looking at Ju Dao's arrogant face, Shuyun's chest trembled with anger. But it was the dead of night, what could she, a girl, do? Seeing Ju Dao was about to leave, Yi Fan suddenly said in a deep voice, "Stop. Did I let you go?" While speaking, Yi Fan flashed in front of Ju Dao and stared at him coldly. That look, like a poisonous snake, made Ju Dao's whole body stiffen. "What do you want to do? Boy, let me tell you, since you ruined my good thing just now, I won't bother with you. You'd better not meddle in other people's business. The Ju family in the provincial capital is someone you can't afford to offend." For some reason, Ju Dao felt a little scared when he looked at Yi Fan, and instinctively wanted to avoid him. "What do you want to do?" "I want to kill you." The next moment, Yi Fan grabbed a dagger from the bodyguard next to him, and without any hesitation, he stabbed it directly into Ju Dao's heart. Such a scene directly shocked Shuyun, Ju Dao and several other bodyguards. "Oh shit! Is it so fierce? Just kill him if there's a disagreement." Chapter 27, You want to leave after taking everything? You and me. Ju Dao looked at the dagger on his chest in disbelief, feeling that the vitality of his body was rapidly draining away. He looked at Yi Fan with eyes full of resentment. "How dare you kill me, who are you?" This is different from the normal plot. In a normal plot, shouldn't the two of them have some verbal exchanges, then swear words, at most beat Ju Dao up, and then kill him next time? If we kill him now, how will the plot develop later? I'm Yi Fan, the eldest son of the Yi family. Suchan's senior brother. Yi Fan kicked Ju Dao to the ground and said coldly, "Since you want to kill my junior sister, I can only send you on your way first." "You are Yi Fan? How is that possible?" According to the information Ju Dao got, Yi Fan did return, but he often hung out in clubs and was drained of his body by women. How could he have such a powerful strength? But no matter whether Ju Dao believed it or not, Yifan would take action and kill Zhu Dao directly. The other killers brought by Zhu Dao wanted to slip away from the scene, but Yifan's body turned into a phantom on the spot, and then all the killers fell to the ground, without any life force. Xu Yun was watching Yifan's actions from the side and was stunned. You killed them all. Xu Yun had heard Su Chan talk about Yifan before and knew that this senior brother must be very powerful. But Su Chan also said that in that battle, Yifan's bones were damaged and his strength was completely lost. It was said that even his kidneys were dug out. How could he be so powerful now? They deserve to die. Yifan glanced at the bodies of Zhu Dao and the others calmly, then stared at Xu Yun with burning eyes and said, "Who are you? Where is Junia's sister? Why are you here?" Yifan's thoughts were interrupted by the sudden appearance of Zhu Dao and others just now. Only now did Yifan have time to think about some things clearly. According to the room card that Junia's sister gave him, and the 2 taps on the back of his hand, didn't she ask him to meet at 2 in the morning? But why is it not the Junia's sister who appears in the office now? Why am I here? This is my office. I'm the boss of Royal Club number 1. Why can't I be here? Xu Yun came back to her senses from the shock and responded to Yifan somewhat unhappily. That's not right. Didn't Junia's sister make an appointment to meet in the evening? Did I misunderstand? Yifan frowned, but when he saw Junia's sister during the day, no matter from her appearance or aura, she was still Junia's sister. Miss Xu, you are here at a good time, so please tell me in detail, who is the background of this girl Chu Yang here? Yifan stared at Xu Yun, trying to see some clues from her face. But Xu Yun already knew what Su Chan meant, and now she didn't dare to expose her relationship with Yifan, so she acted very naturally and said, "I remember that young Master Yi arranged for Miss Chu Yang to accompany you during the day, right? I'm sorry to disappoint young Master Yi, but Miss Chu Yang is just an ordinary girl who grew up with her grandmother. She came to us to earn money for her grandmother's medical treatment." Listening to Xu Yun's explanation, Yifan suddenly felt a little empty in his heart. Could it be that I really made a mistake? But the person I saw at that time was clearly my junior sister. Could it be that junior sister has some other difficulties? It seems that after all the masters of Beiluo Shaman gather together, I have to investigate Royal number 1 thoroughly. If I really know that Xu Yang is the junior sister, then Yifan will definitely eliminate all those who threaten the junior sister. Since she was not a junior sister, there was no need for Yifan to stay. He turned around and prepared to leave the room. But Xu Yun reached out to stop Yifan. "What? You want to leave after eating everything?" When Xu Yun thought of Yifan's frivolous behavior towards her in bed just now, her face turned red with embarrassment. Although it is true that Xu Yun is managing such a club, Xu Yun has always been chaste. She is still a virgin, and Yifan took away her first kiss and touched her there. Yifan paused, turned around and looked at Xu Yun with an evil look on his face. "What? Boss Xu still wants me to be responsible for you? It's not impossible to think of being responsible, but we need a more in-depth communication before I will admit it." Yifan stared at Xu Yun with burning eyes, his gaze wandering over Xu Yun unscrupulously. It must be said that Xu Yun has a plump figure with curves and curves, especially the amazing elasticity that Yifan felt just now, which is indeed top-notch. If Xu Yun is willing, Yifan doesn't mind. Looking at Yifan's seductive eyes, Xu Yun felt a little weak all over. "What do you want to do? I'm telling you not to mess around." Xu Yun's mood is very complicated. Yifan is very handsome, with sharp eyebrows, bright eyes, a tall figure, and well-defined facial features. He is particularly manly. And when they were kissing, his movements almost made Xu Yun's heart beat fast. No woman doesn't like such a man. But Xu Yun also knew that Yifan was the white moonlight in Su Chan's heart. What would it be like if she got involved with him? "I mean, Miss Chu Yang is not your junior sister? Are you willing to do us a favor?" Xu Yun suddenly said this, which made Yifan stunned. "If you help us keep Royal number 1, I am willing to do as you wish." Kindness? Not junior sister. Are you still willing to follow your own wishes? Yifan tilted his head and looked at Xu Yun. This boss Xu is quite interesting. Yifan was thinking rapidly, always feeling that some key information was missing. A lot of information could not be connected at once, but Yifan was sure of one thing: there was something wrong with the Royal number 1 club, and there was something wrong with that Miss Chu Yang. Although he did not see the junior sister tonight, Yifan was intuitively certain that Chu Yang was the junior sister. Since it was junior sister's club that encountered problems, Yifan would certainly not refuse to help. Oh! This condition is very tempting. Tell me, what kind of trouble is the Royal Club number 1 facing now? Yifan stood still and looked at Xu Yun with a serious face. It's still the Zhu family. The Shanjing family headquarters sent the Zhu family here to forcibly snatch the royal number 1 club from us, and also to snatch an ancestral item from Chuyang. Tomorrow, the Zhu family will ask us to negotiate, and I would like to ask you to help take charge and intimidate them. Is that so? No problem, tell me the time and place, I will be there on time tomorrow. Yifan smiled faintly. The Zhu family is just a small family, and Yifan dared to kill even their eldest son. Would he be afraid of their negotiating representatives? Chapter 28, I've dug a hole and I'm waiting for you to jump in. Yeah. Xu Yun looked at Yifan's back as he left. For some reason, she suddenly felt a special peace. Was it because he had just kissed her? Touched her? Just as these messy thoughts emerged in Xu Yun's head, her cell phone suddenly rang. It was Suchan calling. Sister Yun, is there anything going on in the office tonight? Nothing. Xu Yun actually felt a little guilty, as if she was caught having an affair. It was exciting, but there was also an indescribable feeling. That's good. The information in the office is very important. I will be back early tomorrow morning to negotiate with the Zhu family. On the other end of the phone, Suchan seemed very tired, but at the same time seemed relieved. An idea suddenly popped up in Xu Yun's mind. Maybe Suchan really made an appointment with Yifan, but she escaped at the last moment. It said that he was escaping, but in fact it was not a complete escape. He was left guarding in the office and was bullied by Yifan. What was going on? However, Xu Yun did not think about it any further, but reported to Suchan, Xiao Chan, I have something to tell you. Mr. Yi just came to the office. Suchan exclaimed on the other end of the phone, her heart almost jumping out of her chest. The senior brother really understood what she was thinking. Is he gone now? Xu Yun nodded. Young Master Yi has left. I didn't reveal your identity, but Yifan has killed Zhu Dao, the eldest son of the Zhu family, and I have invited Yifan to help us sit in and negotiate with the Zhu family tomorrow. How dare you kill someone from the Zhu family, senior brother? It's clear that his strength hasn't even recovered yet. Sigh. Suchan's tone was anxious. She knew Yifan's situation very well. His bones were damaged, his kidneys were dug out, and his heart was destroyed. Although Yifan was a warrior and had enough strength to deal with some ordinary small thieves, once Yifan was exposed, he would have to deal with those vicious people. How about this? I won't go to the negotiation tomorrow. You can handle it on my behalf. Suchan was afraid that if she saw Yifan again, she really wouldn't be able to control herself. If she exposed herself in front of Yifan, it would mean that Yifan's identity would be exposed, and countless people would immediately attack Yifan. However, what Suchan didn't know was that Yifan had completely exposed his identity as the eldest son of the Yi family at the Lin family banquet. The only thing hidden is your own strength. Yifan has been hanging out in clubs in Yuncheng for 3 years. When everyone knew that Yifan was the eldest son of the Yi family, everyone still only knew that Yifan was just a playboy who hung out in the club. Only a very few people know that Yifan is no longer the same Yifan as before. He is the man standing at the top of this world. However, Yifan now has another identity that he can use, that is the enchanting genius Yi Zhentian. If necessary, Yifan can use his identity as Master Yi to solve the problem. For example, tomorrow, when helping the Royal Club number 1 to negotiate, Yifan did not plan to appear using Yifan's true appearance, but planned to appear as Yi Zhentian, and his identity would be that of Yifan's friend. At midnight, Yifan was heading home to Junlantiangxia Villa. A figure sneaked out of the Yi family compound, then stopped a car on the street and rushed towards the Lin family compound. Master Lin, what's going on? Wasn't that bastard Yifan dead? Why did he suddenly come back? Yi Xiu said to Lin Huer in the Lin family compound with a look of resentment on his face. You ask me, how should I know? Lin Huer's mouth was wrapped in bandages, which made him look a little funny. Besides, that bastard ruined the engagement ceremony between the Lin and Shen families, and even dared to slap me in public. This is simply outrageous. Yi Xiu had probably heard about Yifan's performance at the Lin family banquet. This time, the Lin family lost all their face. Yifan must die. Yi Changfeng just talked to me. The old man's meaning was very clear. No matter how hard I try, the Yi family will still be handed over to Yifan. If Yifan doesn't die, I won't be able to control the entire Yi family, and we will never be able to get that thing. A gloomy look appeared on Yi Xiu's face, and he spoke with resentment. Shut up. Lin Hua scolded Yi Xiu, some things are just for you to know. Don't talk nonsense. If you ruin the boss's good deeds, you and I will be in trouble. Yi Xiu also knew that he had said something he shouldn't have said. Master Lin, now there is an opportunity. Yifan asked me to go to the Overlord Club tomorrow to have sex. I agreed to him. Tomorrow I will lead him to the Overlord Club. Master Lin, please arrange for someone to kill him at the Overlord Club, so as to avoid any more trouble. Lin Hua nodded. It's indeed a good opportunity. The people from the Blood Robe sect will arrive early tomorrow morning. I will arrange for you to open the room and give me a message by then. Lin Hua slammed his fist on the table. Last night, after learning that the master who attacked the Yi family was killed, Lin Hua felt very bad. Because the death of that master was too coincidental. He died when Yifan came back. He died when the Lin family was going to form an alliance with the Shen family. Lin Hua paid a huge price to make the Shen family relax and agree to cancel the engagement with the Yi family and join forces with the Lin family. But after being ruined by Yifan last night, the chances in the future are even slimmer. Snort. No matter whether the Yi Junqian who killed the master was Yifan or not, when the Blood Robe sect takes action tomorrow, Yifan will not have a good ending no matter he is dead or alive. The Blood Robe sect is a killer organization that has emerged in the last decade. The most important thing for the experts inside Yunli is that they will strictly carry out the instructions and requirements of their employers until their death. As long as the Blood Robe sect agrees to this mission, then unless the Blood Robe sect is destroyed, they will hunt down the target at all costs, even if it means chasing them to the ends of the earth. However, Lin Hua and Yi Xiu didn't know that this was a trap that Yifan had dug for them, waiting for them to jump into it. Yifan's return was like throwing a stone into a calm lake, causing a series of ripples. The key point is that Yifan has never stopped causing trouble. For example, the Zhu family's team came to negotiate with Xu Yun and Su Chan this time. Although Zhu Dao, as the eldest son of the Zhu family, came along, in fact, the main person in charge was still Ling Qian, the Zhu family's steward. It's already so late, why hasn't Mr. Zhu come back yet? At the place where the Zhu family delegation was staying, Ling Qian stood in front of the window with his clothes on, looking at the lights outside, frowned and said to the assistant beside him. Manager Ling, we got the news that young Master Zhu went to the club, and he must have fallen for the girls there, so he stayed there overnight, right? Young Master Zhu is unreliable after all, so you have to be the one to handle the negotiations this time. The assistant flattered Ling Qian at the same time. But Ling Qian didn't seem to be impressed by this. Shut up. Young Master Zhu is the future successor of the Zhu family. If anyone is disrespectful to young Master Zhu, don't blame me for being rude. But Ling Qian didn't know that Zhu Dao had already met the King of Hell. Chapter 29 General Songpar who kneels and licks Yifan. Although Su Yishua knew the news last night that General Songpar would come in person to sign the general agency contract with Su Group, she was still very excited when she received a call from General Songpar personally the next morning. Honey, General Songpar said he has arrived in Yuncheng and will come to the villa to sign a contract with us. I think it's not appropriate to do it at home, so I made an appointment to go to the company. Shall we go quickly? Yifan was still taking a nap when Su Yishua hugged him and picked him up from the bed. After 3 kisses in a row and Yifan taking advantage of her, her clothes were all messed up. Yifan then got up and drove to Su Group with Su Yishio. In the office of Su Group, General Songpar sat on the sofa, his eyes constantly looking towards the door. He kept saying to the adjutant beside him, alas! I should have gone to the villa in person to wait for the emperor. This is so rude and disrespectful to the emperor. Before Songpar's men could speak, Yun Bat Ian and Yun Feiyan, who were standing respectfully beside Songpar, said politely, General Songpar, are you really not going to consider continuing to cooperate with our Yun family? Our Yun family has the most complete sales channels in Daxiar. Or, we can make more concessions, as long as General Songpar is willing to continue cooperating with our Yun family. Our Yun family only wants 10% of the profit. After Yun Batian received the news from General Songpar in the provincial capital yesterday to stop cooperation, he inquired about General Songpar's itinerary overnight, and then came to Yuncheng Su Group to find General Songpar for a final fight. 10% profit. You're right. Why didn't I think of that? Fortunately, I thought of it. I wanted 30% profit before, but I was too greedy. Songpar continued to speak after Yun Boshan's words, and Yun Boshan's eyes lit up when he heard General Songpar's words. General Songpar, have you agreed? Yun Batian felt a pain in his heart. According to the previous agreement between him and General Songpar, the Yun family was to take 30% of the profits, but now they only want 10% of the profits. That means the loss in that year would be at least hundreds of billions. But even if the profit is only 10%, as long as we can continue to cooperate with General Sungpa, the benefits in the future will still be huge. At worst, we can just plunder the distributors. Agree? Agree to what? Why don't you get out? I'm talking about my cooperation with the Su Group. I only want 10% of the profit. What does it have to do with you? General Sungpa frowned and looked at Yun Batian. I've told you very clearly that our cooperation has ended. There was only less than a month left. Isn't it just a 100 million yuan penalty? I'll have someone transfer the money to you right away. Yun Batian listened to General Sungpa's words and thought he had heard it wrongly. By cooperating with the Su Group, General Sungpa only wants 10% of the profits. You know, General Sungpa had previously cooperated with the Yun family and wanted 70% of the profits. Why is it that by cooperating with the Su Group, only 10% of the profits seems to be too much? How humble this is! Why aren't you getting out of here? Kuntai, throw them all out. Otherwise, the emperor will be very upset when he sees them later. General Sungpa was very annoyed with Yun Batian and Yun Feiyang, and directly ordered his men to push and throw Yun Batian and Yun Feiyang out. General Sungpa, you! Yun Batian and Yun Feiyang called out, but they were not willing at all in their hearts. Dad! It must be Yifan. After Yifan made a phone call yesterday, General Sungpa wanted to terminate our cooperation with us, Yun Feiyang said to Yun Batian beside him. Shut up! Do you need to say this? Yun Batian wanted to slap Yun Feiyang twice. Isn't this obvious? Do you need to say more? It's all because of Yun Feiyang. Why did he have to provoke Su Ishiu? Although the Yi family, to which Yifan belongs, has fallen into decline, the Yun family still has to think carefully before provoking them. Who would have thought that Su Ishiu's husband Yifan is actually the eldest son of the Yi family? Mr. Yi, please come this way. Yun Batian and Yun Feiyang were still feeling depressed, but General Sungpa had already stood up quickly and went to the door to greet them. It turned out that Yifan and Su Ishiu had already walked into the meeting room. Sungpa pulled the chair out for Yifan respectfully. Young Master Yi, do you think it's comfortable to sit like this? How about I give you a shoulder massage? While speaking, Sungpa really rolled up his sleeves and respectfully began to massage Yifan's shoulders. Such a scene stunned Yun Batian, Yun Feiyang and others. Who is General Sungpa? He was the biggest armed leader in Myanmar, commanding tens of thousands of troops. He killed people without mercy and was known as the Butcher. He would shoot anyone for no reason. But now in front of Yifan, he was as docile as a dog wagging its tail. Was I seeing things? Although Yifan is the eldest son of the Yi family, he has been hanging out in clubs in Yuncheng for the past 3 years. How could he ever influence Myanmar? But General Sungpa's men were not surprised at all. They all knew how important Yifan was to General Sungpa back then. Not to mention serving Yifan, even if Yifan wanted to sleep with his wife, General Sungpa would personally wash her and send her to Yifan's bed. Your technique has improved a lot. Yifan responded calmly, and then his eyes turned to Yun Feiyang and Yun Batian. Hey! Isn't this young Master Yun? Why didn't you call me Dad yesterday, so you came here today to make up for it? Yifan stared at Yun Feiyang coldly, his eyes full of mockery. Kuntai, act quickly and just throw it out. Why are you being polite? Sungpa became anxious when he saw Yifan's attitude and hurriedly scolded his men, fearing that he would make Yifan unhappy. Kuntai immediately took action himself, grabbed the hands and feet of Yun Feiyang, Yun Batian and others, picked them up directly, and threw them hard into the corridor. The bodies slammed heavily against the concrete floor, and the tragic screams of Yun Batian and Yun Feiyang were heard from the corridor. Yifan, just wait for me. I will never let you go. You want to bypass our Yun family and do jade business in Daxia? No way. Yun Feiyang rolled and crawled towards the outside of the building, still roaring. Sungpa frowned and said to Yifan, Emperor, do you want me to take action and destroy the Yun family? Yifan gently waved his hand, no need. This is Daxia, if you take action, there will be some trouble. I warned them that if they dare to harass my wife again, I will flatten the entire Yun family. After a pause, Yifan said to Sungpa and Su Ishiu, you should start preparing to sign the contract. When Sungpa heard this, he he immediately asked his men to take out the contract and personally handed it to Su Ishue, saying, "Ms. Su, this is what I think. It is a great honor for our Jade Group to be able to cooperate with the Su Group. Therefore, we have decided that we only want 10% of the profits. Is that okay with you?" While speaking, General Sungpar watched Yifan's expression change cautiously. "R? 1%. Su Ishu exclaimed in surprise when she heard General Sungpar's words. When General Sungpar saw Su Ishue's reaction, he was shocked. "Miss Su, isn't 10% too much? 0.5% is also fine. How can I think about profit when I can serve the emperor? Damn it." While speaking, Sungpar slapped himself hard on the cheek.